Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Testing 1 2 3. Oh, forgot. Oh, snap! I forgot. Can you hear me? Does the audio sound good? I did not tell Twitter that I was going live. Uh-oh. How's it going? How's quarantine been going? I hope all is well, all joking aside. I hope everything is great. Hope the family is safe. Interesting times, very interesting times, to say the least. Live now. Been writing and drawing. What's up, Floof? Michael, how you doing? It's great. It's great. Oh boy. Last time I did a stream, I think it was the Volume 7 finale. And since then, I got 2K subs, 20,000 subs, which is awesome. You guys are awesome. I wanted to do a stream for 20K subs, but I thought it was kind of like, I don't know how I feel about that. Doing a stream for like sub count or a sub count. So I was like, you know what? I'll just wait until I have like a reason to do a stream, and then I'll talk about it then. But yeah, we've gotten 20K subs since last stream. Your continued support has been awesome. I see the onlys in the stream. I see it. Let me add an only myself. Only into the chat. Only. Wait, make sure I can spell only. Only. Yeah, it's been crazy. Been pretty crazy. But yeah, 20K subs. Hopefully we'll just continue to grow the channel. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, you guys been awesome. I appreciate all the support. Hey, how's it going? Only? I see the onlys in chat. Awesome. All right, yeah. So this stream. So what's the better meme? Only or they're locked? I'm not sure right now. What's greater? Only or they're locked? Probably only, because they're locked just started. The whole Weiss thing just started, so probably only. They're locked. Okay. So I finally I see the onlys. Okay. It says it's only. All right. So Vex Volume 8 is going to be a bloodbath. For you, dude? We'll see. As much as I would love for Volume 8 to be a bloodbath, as much as I would love for Salem to kill half the cast, I'm not going to get my hopes up. So I probably doubt it. Only locked. They're only locked. Okay, I see. Can we combine the two? That might be overkill, but we'll see. They're only locked. Okay. So here are the ratings for our 4. This stream is about Team RWBY, because now that I've completed the 4 videos, I figured it'd be best to have a stream and talk about these 4 characters. Now that the 4 videos have been completed, I can talk about some of the things I've heard on the internet about my 4 videos, and I can hear what you guys have to say about the characters and all that. So yeah, this should be fun. This should be fun. Okay, so here are the ratings. Can you guys see this? We have, obviously you have, is red, the further to the left, the redder it gets, the further to the right, the greener it gets, right? So we have Weiss at the top. Got RWBY at number 2, Blake, and right at the bottom is good old Sunshine Yang Xiaolong, where she belongs. Weiss is pretty much the same place she was. She couldn't have gone down further, honestly, but she's pretty much right where she was before. I debated bringing her down some, but I figured she's still middle of the pack. I don't think I need to touch it. Ruby's now number 2, and Yang's at the bottom. Yep, that's how it stands right now. Thoughts? Agree, disagree? Let's see. Agreed. Yeah, it's interesting. Honestly, it's interesting. Seemed good. Agreed. Facts. Ruby Rose is my favorite character, so I agree. Agreed for the most part. I'm guessing you probably flip Blake and Yang. Most people would, I think, from what I've seen, they think they would flip Blake and Yang. But I can understand how I can accept anyone's list. While what I won't accept is anyone who doesn't have Yang number 1. She is number 1. I'm joking, obviously, but I think Weiss is number 1, clear cut. You know, anyone who doesn't have Weiss number 1, you have to convince me as to why that's not why that's the case. If she's not number 1, I don't see how she's not the best written of the 4, clearly. But I can be persuaded. Just got to, give me your reasons. All right, so that's the status of the ranking right now. Now, the first video I did. Wait, let me look at the chat, make sure no one said anything. I need to see. Still kind of pissed that we didn't get any interactions between Crow and Winter. I understand that. Definitely understand that. But what's next for Weiss? Who knows? So you heard what Miles said about Tifa? Yes, I heard exactly what he said, which is not very smart considering he's a writer on RWBY and the characters dress in a certain fashion. So I'm not sure why he would do that. Doesn't make much sense. Actually, rather weird. But, he probably wasn't thinking. Only Tifa? Yeah. He only went after Tifa. How far have we been here? 10 minutes. Yeah, so the first video I did was the Yang video, right? Well, first of all, me make sure you guys can see what I'm about to do. All right. I'm going to try something out here. Oh, wow. Thanks for the super chat, Marcus Henry. I think I know why the characters seem so boring lately. Why is that? You think about it, Team RWBY except Weiss have reached their original goal. Oh, snap, it's disappearing. Wait. Weiss have reached their original goals and motivations. Marcus, you are in the hands of these writers, then yeah, I agree with you. Yang wanted to get to find Ruby, right? She did that. She killed Adam, so her PTSD is gone. Well, we're about to get into this. I'm about to get into all this stuff, so maybe I shouldn't jump the gun. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Well, Weiss kind of reached her goals and motive. Well, no, she hasn't, because she wants to lead the Schnee Dust Company. I don't know what Weiss wants to do anymore, because she's no longer the heiress, so she can't say she wants to take the Schnee Dust Company in a different direction, right? And Blake, she definitely doesn't have anything to do right now. But we'll get into it here in a second. But thanks for the super chat, and I agree with you for the most part. I see what you're saying. It's a cartoon. It is. All right. So first of all, I need to try something out. So you guys tell me if you can see ScarJo. I'm about to put ScarJo on. Can you guys see ScarJo? By that I mean Scarlett Johansson. Can you see her? Do you see the Black Widow? Yes. Awesome. Thanks for the super chat. Backbones Slug. Hopefully we can find out where Weiss even got the scar. Oh, we know why she got the scar. We know. I can tell you that right now. She got that in the white trailer. Go look at the original white trailer. That's when she gets the scar. One moment, please. Give me like 10 seconds. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, if you can see ScarJo, oh, another super chat. Yang and Blake development was non-existent in the latest season. They just danced and told Robin stuff about Amity Kyle. Yeah, they're. I agree with you. They're. Thanks for the super chat. They are. They're in the ship. That's what they are. They're nothing more than one half of a ship. That's what I'm trying to say. I kept forgetting this phrase. They're nothing more than one half of a ship right now. Neither of them have anything going for them. All right, so you guys see ScarJo, right? So now what I'm about to do, if this works correctly, I'm about to pull this up here in a second. Boom. Haha. Well, let me mute this. All right, so this is the video I did for Yang, right? If this is working properly, can you guys see this? I'll let it run for now. Oh, I'm not gonna say anything Black Widow. That was just my that's just my desktop background. Thanks for super chat. Black Widow is just my desktop background right now. I'm looking forward to that movie actually. So when I first did this Yang video, I went out of my way to say that this was just my opinion, right? I wanted to be clear that this is just my opinion. I know how people get triggered, right? And some of you did not like that. Some people said, "Oh, don't say it's just your opinion. It's a fact." No, it's my opinion. It's my opinion. You may agree with it, but it's still just my opinion, you know. And on the other hand, there people were saying like, "Oh, Vex, he never says it's his opinion. He acts like his opinion is fact." So I'm pretty much damned if I do, and I'm damned if I don't. So like, I'm stating it's my opinion. I'm not saying anyone has to agree with me. I'm going out of my way. I'm clearly stating it's just my opinion. Oh, another stupid chat. Oops. If her dream is to take over the company, was so weak that one minor setback plus a complete and total stop on it, then the dream wasn't worth anything. True, but I would say that right now they have as it stands right now, there's a big giant whale heading toward Atlas. So she has to like put her priorities to the side. Like it's nothing she can do right now about taking the Schnee name in the right direction because she's no longer the heiress. And she's currently in a war between Salem and Osmond, and right now they're kind of putting that to the side. We'll see if it ever comes back, if she ever like tries to do something with the Schnee name, but we'll have to wait and see. I think you back up your opinion with facts. I do, and that's what I try to do. But people were upset that I said that that it was just my opinion, because it is. So it's funny how no matter what you say, that's what I'm realizing. No matter how you phrase it, no matter what you say, people are going to say you're either not giving, acting like you know it all, like your opinion is fact, or they're gonna say, or you're taking it easy on them. You're not talking truth to power. You're trying to pillow it or soften it by saying it's your opinion, but it really is my opinion. There's no way around that. Yeah, even if I say exactly, thanks for the super chat. Even if I say it's my opinion, they're still gonna get triggered. So there's no point. There's really no point. Obviously, if the video is titled Yang's the worst character in Team RWBY, obviously it's an opinion. So why should I have to like? It doesn't really matter, you know. So it doesn't really matter. But the thing let me rewind this. Let's just pause it here on the. So the thing that really triggered folks when it comes to Yang, in my opinion on Yang, was this whole PTSD arc, right? That's a good freeze frame right there. I don't believe that Yang had to struggle through her PTSD. at all. I don't think it was executed well. In fact, it's currently gone, if I'm correct. Now that she's killed Adam, her PTSD symptoms are gone, if I'm correct. Tell me if you think I'm right on that. I think they've been gone now. During Volume 7, she didn't have any hand tremors or anything like that, so I'm assuming it's gone. So her PTSD, I thought, was not handled very well. Now, why do I feel that way? Well, they gave us this, right? Let's see. Play that one more time. Just because Jane got her arm cut, thanks for the super chat. Just because Jane got her arm cut off by Blake's ex doesn't mean they should get together, but they are not ready for that conversation. Yeah. Just because they're not ready for that conversation. What do you mean they're not ready for the conversation? About being together? They had better be ready for the conversation, because at this point they just need to be together. Because we'll get to Yang and Blake. Thanks for the super chat. We'll get to Yang and Blake. But as you can see here by this PTSD arc, if anyone tells me, I'll play again. If anyone tells me that after these sequence of events, the nightmare, the visions, if anyone tells me that after all that, they expected her to be so flippant and be so nonchalant about during the fight, they're like, I'm sorry, I think you're lying. I have to say you're lying. There's no way you can tell me after she's freaking out by watching dishes hit the ground. She's having nightmares, right? She's having visions. And you're telling me that you expected, as the viewer, you expected her to be all crack jokes about his freaking semblance during the fight. I think you're lying, honestly. This could have been executed in a way that was made more sense based on what they set up. They set it up that she was going to be have more of issues fighting this dude, or when coming into contact with Adam, there's going to be more of a thing. They made it seem like it was nothing, right? She went about her fight with no issues. Now, in the video, I said that people were going to give two arguments, right? I even called it out. Before anyone responded to my video, I put in the video that they're going to make two arguments about my video. They're going to say that she's overcoming her fears, right? That's going to be the big one. Oh, she's overcoming her fears, Vexed. That's why, like, you don't want to see Yang overcome her fears? I'm like, listen, there's this thing called storytelling, okay? If you want me, the viewer, to believe that a character is overcoming her fears, then you have to show them overcoming their fears, right? You have to show it within the sequence, within the scene. They did the opposite of that. They made it seem like it wasn't a big deal at all. She's mocking his semblance. She's, it just wasn't there to me. Maybe that was just me. And instead of doing that, they gave us this right here. Does that look like someone who's afraid? No, obviously not. So forgive me. If I don't think that she's overcoming her fears here. That's not what I'm seeing. But that could just be me. Okay? So that's one. To say, oh, Vex, she's overcoming her fears. That's obvious, Vex. And then the other one was, they had the whole straw man argument where it's like, oh, so you want to see Yang crying on the floor in a fetal position? You want to see her balled up And I even put the damn straw man in the damn video. You're like, oh, you want to see Yang on the floor in a ball, like in a fetal position? Like, no, I don't. I never said that. Oh, no audio? You don't really need audio for this anyway. I don't think. PTSD is not fear. It's trigger and chemical imbalance in the brain. Whoa, super chats are flying in like crazy. It makes no sense for Weiss to behave the way she does with her father. He's her biological father and the only one to raise her, considering a drunk. Yeah. Yeah, the issue with, we're gonna get to Weiss, but yeah, her interaction with her father in the end was kind of weird. I feel like there's such a disconnect in the team that they doesn't really even talk to each other. That they don't. Well, yeah, because there's a disconnect because it's RW and BY. Blake and Yang are doing their own thing, and RWBY and Weiss are doing their own thing. So I could hardly blame the damn shippers for putting Weiss and RWBY together because they're always together, and then Blake and Yang are always together. So naturally, the shippers are going to go crazy. But yeah, so I literally put the straw man in the video because I knew people were going to say, oh, you want Yang to be on the floor in a fetal position? Like, no, I just wanted it to matter. I wanted you to show the end of this whole PTSD arc. And you didn't show it to me, so I was upset. That's all. I mean, I'm not asking for her to be like disabled on the ground, shivering in fear. No, I'm just asking that. I just want it to matter. I wanted all that build up to matter. If you're going to show me a character freaking out, you know, while seeing a vision of Adam, then when the time comes where she actually faces Adam in the flesh, I'm going to expect some kind of reaction. And from what I could tell, the one time that her arm did shake, she was faking it. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that makes sense. She said, "Oh, I'm smarter than you, so I'm going to make it look like I'm scared right now. So you're going to get overconfident and attack." And the whole time she's looking at Blake, that's my takeaway, that she's faking the whole. Well, I didn't even put it. Seems fake. Where is it? Here it is. Where is it? Right here. Boom. Seems fake. Because that's what makes sense based on what they set up. How this, like, she's like, oh yeah, I'm smarter than you. I fooled you. That's the whole thing, right? So that's why I'm assuming she's faking it. Yang's PTSD arc collapsed at Haven when she ignored Adam instead of looking at Blake. That was insulting. Well, she didn't even see. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Lord Pyron. She didn't even see Adam at the Battle of Haven. She never saw Adam at all. That's another thing. That's another thing about the Battle of Haven. Only person that knew Adam was there was Blake and Sun. Yang, RWBY, and Weiss never saw Adam at the Battle of Haven. I'm 99.9% sure that none of them saw. None of them except Blake saw Adam there. So that's the thing with the whole PTSD issue. I'm not going to belabor the issue. For me, they didn't execute it in a way that was compelling and interesting. Battle of Haven was the greatest mistake in the production of RWBY. I agree. Even though Volume 7, Chapter 12 was that thing pissed me off. But yeah, I agree. Battle of Haven was definitely the worst thing they've ever done. So, besides the whole I'm not going to continue on the PTSD arc. I think you guys get the picture here. For me, they didn't execute it well. So the other thing that people seem to have a major issue with was my whole opinion on Yang's abandonment issues, right? Yang doesn't have abandonment issues. Let me get to a still shot here. Wait, let me see. Let's get it here. Here it is. Boom. We'll stop right there. Yang does not have abandonment issues. Based on, at least from what I can tell. And I can feel for the people who get upset by this because they basically been told a lie. See, when you hear something, and I was victim of the same thing. I thought Yang had abandonment issues too, because I never thought about it. So when you hear something over and over and over and over and over again and not think about it, then of course you're going to believe it. So when someone comes and says, oh, guess what? She doesn't have abandonment issues. You're like, what? That can't be right. I've been told for this whole time that she has it. So you're mistaken. But the thing is, anytime I ask someone, all right, show me the evidence. Well, what evidence do you have that Yang has abandonment issues? They weren't able to produce it besides the fact that, well, the writer says she has it, so she must have it. And I feel for these people because they've been told a lie. Yang has abandonment issues because the writer says she has it. That's it. Oh, Klaxon, hey, you're in the chat. What's up? Yang should have abandonment issues, but isn't explored in favor of the PTSD arc when it should have been taking most of the focus. Yeah, it's interesting because, like, for example, I'm about to read these. Hey, Cal, what's up? I'm about to read these responses I got to my abandonment issue video. So these were the most prominent. I went and grabbed the most prominent comments, the comments that everyone were liking, and everyone was favoring on Reddit, right? This is what people are saying. Why is this even a question? From what I've seen of his points, it's because a loving mother, because she didn't have a loving mother. Basically saying, because it's hard to read this because it's kind of like the English isn't great, so I'm keep phrasing it like she had a loving mother that was better than Raven, which doesn't mean she doesn't have abandonment issues. Like, I have a hard time believing that these people are actually like watching the video, because that wasn't the point I was making. I even said that her abandonment issues could be more psychological. She could be dealing with abandonment issues because, you know, she lost her mother died, and then her father shut down emotionally. That could believe it's psychological abandonment. I understand that. She could be dealing with something more psychological. I never insinuated that because Raven ran away and she had loving parents that she doesn't have abandonment issues. I said she doesn't know what it's like to be left. I said you could argue that Yang does not know what it's like to be left because she had Summer and Ty. But I didn't say that's why she didn't have abandonment issues. That's why I don't think these people are actually watching the video per se. They're like watching in anger. Super chat from Marcus Henry. I think it's sad that Weiss has never come into contact with Adam. I agree. So much potential. I agree. Also, you remember Blake has daddy issues. That's something Aaron said. Aaron thinks that Blake has daddy issues. I disagree. That's all I'll say. I'll disagree. Because some people don't like when you talk about the VAs. So I'm just going to say I disagree with Aaron when she says that. Honestly, this show is a train wreck. Thanks for the super chat. Honestly, this show is a train wreck for me. I want to look away, but also I want to see if anything good will come from it. You can watch a show for whatever reason you want to watch a show. There's no reason, there's no like particular way you have to watch a show. You can watch a show however you want to watch it. Like, I always laugh at people say, oh, if you have to love a show, if you don't love the show, why are you watching it? People can watch whoever they want to watch. People want to watch Trainwreck. People want to watch things. People watch things they don't like all the time. It's not something that's foreign. But anyway, so then like here's another response to the whole abandonment issues thing. Vex makes a ton of hot takes on this video, such as being angry at the person who abandoned you isn't a possible sign of having abandonment issues. That because Yang had two loving parents, that means she can't feel abandonment and unloved by a biological mother, etc. Again, these people are either not watching the video or just being dishonest. I don't know what else to say about this. A person being mad at the person that abandoned you is not evidence of abandonment issues. I'll say it one more time for the person in the back. The back of who listened to the stream all the way in the back of the house because they had to go run after the dog, okay? Just because being mad at the person that abandoned you is not an abandonment issue. That's just being human. It's like, I'm mad at the person that slapped me. I'm mad at the person that lied to me. I'm mad at the person who took my job. I'm mad at the person who abandoned me. That's not an abandonment issue. An abandonment issue is an issue. It's called an issue because it's something that affects you throughout all your relationships and throughout all your life. It's not an abandonment issue if it just affects the person that did it to you. It's an abandonment issue if it stems to everyone else. Like if let's say my mom or dad abandoned me as a kid, and therefore going in life, every time I get into a relationship, I intentionally end the relationship early because I'm afraid of being abandoned. I'm afraid of being left. So I take it. I want the power and the control. So I end the relationship right before the relationship gets serious. I cut it off and end it because I don't want to feel abandoned. Right? That's an abandonment issue. It affects your life throughout life. Right? So this notion that Yang wants to know what happened to, why did Raven left me? That's not an abandonment issue. That's curiosity. She wants to know what happened. Okay, that's not an abandonment issue. I'm mad that Blake left me. That's not an abandonment issue. No, it's not. Like I said, if they wanted it to make an abandonment issue, they could have said, okay, RWBY left me, and Weiss left me. They didn't want to leave me, but I'm upset and I'm affected by that because I have abandonment issues. So I can't help but be upset. I can't help to feel slighted because I have abandonment issues. So when I was bothered by Blake leaving, I was bothered by RWBY leaving, and I was bothered by freaking Weiss leaving. Even though she had no choice or she was forced to leave, I still felt slighted because I have an issue. It's quite like, I'm not really saying anything that's so profound or like just. But I don't blame these people because every time I ask them, can you produce a moment in a show where you think Yang showcasing abandonment issues, they can't say anything because they just go by what they were told. It's like, well, I was told this whole time she had abandonment issues, so Vex must be wrong. And again, like I said, I thought Yang had abandonment issues too, until I actually thought about it. So I'm not like saying that I'm better than anyone else here. I'm just like, that's just how it is. Like, if you're told something by the writers, I can sympathize. If the writers are telling you something over and over and over, you're going to believe it. So, like, that's basically what I got the whole time. I got the whole, those are arguments I got. Now, the one response I got that I can actually, like, have an honest discussion with, this one person said, Vex has a belief that it's not a real issue if it doesn't affect the character negatively. But he's searching for a problem that isn't there. So that I can understand. I can like, okay, so this person actually watched the video. He understood what I was saying. Okay, I hear him when he says that, or her, whoever said this. I understand that. But they're the one who's are claiming that Yang has abandonment issues that she has to get over. At least that's what Barb said. I can't remember for sure if Miles or I know Carrie said she had abandonment issues, but I didn't say. I'm not sure if they said that she needs to get over them. But I know that Barb said she needs to get over abandonment issues, and she's the VA. So you would think the VA would know what's going on with the character, right? So they're the one claiming that Yang has abandonment issues that she has to get over. So if she has to get over it, then it must be affecting her negatively, because why would she have to get over something that's not affecting her negatively? So, and why bring up abandonment issues? Why bring up AI if you're not going to explore it? If you're not going to dive into it, if it's not going to be an issue that affects her negatively, why even bring it up? That's my response to that. So it's just, I don't think I'm saying anything that's too out of, like, over the top or too crazy when I say that Yang does not have abandonment issues in the show. Like I said, if anything, Weiss is the one with abandonment issues, but they think that's Yang's shtick, right? I think Weiss had abandonment issues, honestly. Or let me rephrase that. I think you can make a better argument that Weiss had abandonment issues. I won't say that Weiss had abandonment issues. I'll say that if you had to argue that someone had it, I would go with Weiss over Yang. That's what I'll say. But that could just be me. Oh boy, abandonment issues. So that's another thing. So those are two big things, right? The two big things that people have a problem with my take on Yang is PTSD and abandonment issues, right? Those are the two biggest things. Now, another thing, well, let me make sure that, thanks for the love. Thank you, Jackie. Why did Yang cross the road? I'm afraid of the answer to that question. Agree there's more evidence that Weiss has abandonment issues. Yeah, I think so too. I honestly think so. I think you can make a better argument that she has it more so than Yang, but don't tell the writers. Am I planning on doing a video on John? Honestly, no. I'll be lying if I did. I just don't care enough about John. At least right now, I don't care enough to make a video about him. I wish I cared about John, but I don't. Quick, get in the circle. All right, so another thing that people seem to be upset by. Well, not upset. I'll take that back. John is not interesting enough for video. That's kind of how I feel about it. John, did you mean Miles? Savage, man. Floof, that's savage, man. That's Ironwood will I'm doing a video on volume 7. I'm going to talk about it at the end here, but I'm doing a video on volume 7. And Ironwood will be covered a lot in the video. So I don't think I have to give him his own video, because the next video I do will have a lot of Ironwood stuff. So I don't have to give him his own video, if that makes sense. All right, so another thing when it comes to Yang, another reason why I think she's the worst, the whole she's famous, right? Yang was at the Vital Festival. To be honest, all of them should be famous, right? Blake, Yang, Weiss, especially Weiss, RWBY, they all fought at the Vital Festival. They all should be famous, popular to a certain degree. But Yang is the leg crusher, right? Did I put that in the video? Yeah, I did, right? Somewhere like right around. Yeah, here it is. She's a leg crusher. She crushed freaking Mercury's leg on worldwide broadcast, and no one cares, because that's a part of the world building, the part of the world that the writers decided that they didn't need to develop or invest in. So usually when these characters go to different cities, they go to different areas, the world is dead. The world around the characters around them. I even made a video about this called "The World Is Alive." Check it out if you haven't watched it. It's on my channel. The World Is Alive. The world is dead around these characters. They should be famous. People should know who they are. Especially Yang, because she broke Mercury's leg. She's a leg crusher worldwide, you know. She got disqualified from the tournament. No one knows who she is. She's not recognized, and that's an angle that could have went. Like, that could have been compelling, right? Really compelling. Oh look, that's that Yang girl who broke, who got disqualified. Her having to deal with that could have been interesting, you know. But they are not touching that. They don't write RWBY in that regard to include the world vision and view of them. They don't care to make the world feel alive in that regard. So that's an empty void in the show. Not even with Yang. I'm bringing it up with Yang, but that's an empty void in the entire show. If you can imagine that element in the show, this show feels so much better. It feels so more immersive. It feels so much more. It just be more. The world will feel more alive. You feel more a part of the world if they actually engaged in that part of the storytelling. But they're not doing that. So yeah. I really shouldn't focus that much on that. I really shouldn't focus on that much, because that's not really a Yang problem. That's the problem with this show. But something that really triggered the fans. Wait, give me 1 second. One thing that I have to bring up when it comes to Yang is the whole metal arm fiasco. The whole metal arm freaking controversy that I pretty much started, honestly. At least I think I did. Because I don't remember anyone talking about how Yang refused to bring up the whole metal arm thing. Brand new, state-of-the-art Atlas tech is what Ironwood sent her, right? Brand new, state-of-the-art Atlas tech. He said, Tai Yang said before he could even talk to Ironwood, before he could even open his mouth to say anything about Yang, Ironwood had his top scientist, aka Pietro, working on this thing for her, specifically for her. Super chat, you're right, Vex. Yang acknowledged Blake right after Adam fled Haven by boat. Her lack of reaction in the Volume 6 is still annoying. Whoa! Alex, what the hell are you doing? Thanks for the super chat. Jesus. I stopped watching after season 5. I was done. Characters and story changed so differently from the fun story to whatever happening now. Yang was my favorite. Now she's my least favorite, with the Weiss being number 1. Haven't seen anything since then. Well, I'll say this. Thanks for the super chat. I really appreciate it, honestly. I really, really appreciate it. I'll say this. Volume 6 and Volume 7 are both better than Volume 5. I can say that. I mean, I don't know if that'll make you want to jump back in, but Volume 5 was the worst. There haven't been anything as bad as that. I can tell you that. But yeah, I can understand how watching Volume 5 could make someone want to jump out of the show, because it really was bad. It's like the one volume that even the writers, even the most diehard fans will agree that Volume 5 was the worst. Even the writers will acknowledge that was bad. So you got to give the writers credit for that, because even they kind of like, yeah, Volume 5 was bad. They know. They know. Trust me, they know. What was I talking about right before? I had that awesome, generous super chat. Oh yeah, our metal arm. Ironwood went out of his way to provide an awesome piece of Atlas tech. And forgive me for wanting Yang to have some type of moment where she says, oh, by the way, Ironwood, thanks for the arm. Because you didn't have to, he really didn't have to do that. He really did not have to. And he reached out of the kindness of his heart to give this woman a metal arm. And they didn't even bother to have her acknowledge that great gesture. It's just, it's not really a huge deal, but it's something. It's something they could have gone, like, when it comes to Yang, guys, the biggest problem with Yang is not, I think someone said this in the comment section as well. The biggest problem with Yang is not so much what they did, it's what they didn't do. Like, there's so many different avenues they could have taken her. And don't get me wrong, I didn't like what they did. But they could have gone so many different ways and they decided not to. I don't know why. I mean, it's right there for you. The thing about Ironwood is she wanted to tell Ironwood the truth all Volume 7. She was the one member of Team RWBY that wanted to tell him the truth. So they could have tied that in to her feeling, owing it to him, like, wow, this guy really helped me out in a time of need when I was depressed, sending me an arm, so I got his back, That could have worked. It could have explained, or could have helped explain why she felt she wanted to tell him the truth. Like, this guy helped me out, so why are we lying to him? I don't feel right about that. It works perfectly. It writes itself. But yeah, they just didn't want to do it. I don't know why. It seemed like something they would definitely do, but she walks in like, she's so condescending. She's like, when they get arrested, she's like, what did she say? She said something slick to Ironwood. She's like, our greeting really didn't convey that. That's the first thing she said to the man. The first thing she said to the man was, I don't like the way you arrested us, kind of thing. It was like, wow. Another super chat. Thanks for the super chat. I am the darkness. Scary. I wouldn't be surprised if they had Ironwood put an explosive device in her arm to show how Two-Face. Why is that so funny? Y'all gotta stop doing Ironwood like that, man. Ironwood gave her that arm out of the kindness of his heart. Okay, there's no explosive in it. Ironwood is a good guy. He's a good guy, And she should have given him a thank you for the damn metal arm. I won't belabor the whole thing for that long. I'll move on, but it reminds me of a What If character, MC. Yo, that's messed up. Explosive in the arm. I would not do that. First of all, Pietro wouldn't do that either. Like, Pietro is the one who designed the damn thing. I did not read any of the manga, honestly, unfortunately. So she's the only one who wants to tell Ironwood the truth, right? And so I'll give her that. Like, I appreciate that, even though it doesn't go anywhere, right? She wants to tell him the truth, but they don't really follow that up. She doesn't like she questions RWBY once. She's like, "Hey RWBY, why don't we tell him the truth?" Like, because RWBY's like, because. It's like, okay. And that's kind of the end of it. And then she brings it up again to Blake. Like, Blake, I trust RWBY, but I think we should tell him the truth. And that's the end of it. They don't really bring it back up, which is kind of unfortunate. But yeah, that's why she's the worst. That's why I think she's the, I'm giving you the reasons. I'm not just saying, that's the thing about my opinion here about Yang. I'm not just saying, oh, she sucks because she's Yang, all right? No, I'm telling you why I think she's the worst. They told me different avenues they could have went with this character, and they just dropped it. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Okay, this is something I have to talk about. Such another thing with this whole Yang thing. I talked about how Yang doesn't talk to her sister. All right, I made a whole thing about that in the video here. How she oh, thanks for the super chat. Okay, I'm gonna butcher that name. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. RWBY is a stupid. I don't know why that's funny. RWBY is a stupid shadow of what it once was in an action show. The beginning the comedy was with the story, and action was fresh, and was looking somewhat good until Rooster Teeth came in and shat on it for money. I don't agree with that take. It's still trying to be a comedy. It just got darker and got more serious. Are you trying to say that since the whole change, I mean, Miles and Carrie are still writing. They're still writing the show. The writers at the beginning, they're the writers of the show now. So the writers are still the same. I can't for sure say that the direction would have changed because I don't know what would have happened if, no, I'm not even going to go there. But yeah, I see what you're saying. But I don't necessarily agree with your take. And I'm not going to go in the direction. And in order to continue that conversation, I have to talk about a certain someone, but I don't want to get into that during the stream. Don't worry, Ironwood will take the fall. Oh my God. Talking about when Crow was like, I'm sure of it. That was stupid. They could have had Yang stay behind to tell Ironwood the truth about Salem. Yeah, that would have worked. Yeah, that would have been better. Yeah. Yang Bronwyn, thanks for the super chat. I agree with you. That would have worked. That would have been better than what they did. Yeah. Thoughts on the Team RWBY hive mind? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Unfortunately, I'm not quite sure what you mean by the Team RWBY hive mind. Okay, so another thing they said about Yang was the whole what I said was she doesn't talk to her sister, right? And she spends a little bit too much time with Blake. And I heard someone say something like, well, she didn't talk to her sister or her uncle, right? She hasn't had a legitimate talk with her uncle since Volume 3. I don't think she had a good sister talk with RWBY since Volume 3 as well, during the finale, right? And some people say, this one person said this on the Reddit. I think it was Reddit, somewhere. She's like, I have an easier time accepting this complaint if some of these same people weren't complaining about their relationship not having build-up. And by that, he's talking about Blake relationship. Like, some people say Yang should stop spending so much time with Blake. Yang should stop spending so much time with Blake and spend more time with RWBY. But then he's saying, well, so why are you guys complaining about not having any build-up to the relationship? You can't have it both ways. So that's what he's arguing right now. And the thing is, I would say that's the problem with the character and their relationship as a whole. They're spending time together, but they're not accomplishing anything with that time. Every time Yang is with Blake, they're not actually developing the relationship in a way that's satisfying. They dance, they dance, they train, but they're not having any actual conversations. The one time they talk is during the, let's say, volume 6, when Yang gets mad at Blake, and they just skip over the whole, they skip over Yang being upset. They're like, oh, next time we see them together, she's all looking at her all googly-eyed. I even put that in the video, right? Where is it? Like, she gets upset at Blake for treating her like a victim. And the next time they see the two together, they're like, oh, okay. She's like smiling, like, oh, like what was the point of that? They're not developing the relationship. It's the issue. They're spending all this time together, but it's not going anywhere. They're not developing the relationship, is what I'm saying. Oh, snap, some more super chats. Thank you guys for super chats. It's really awesome. Appreciate it. Well, the choreography has gone from amazing to horrible. RWBY is Weiss is perfect. I actually like Blake, but I see your points, and Yang used to be fun and natural, cool. Now she tries to be cool. The choreography, I guess that's just a matter of taste, right? If you prefer how it looked before, like there's nothing you can say to that, right? Just it's preference. Weiss, I'm actually not I'm not good with how Weiss has been fighting lately. She doesn't really use her skills with her sword. She doesn't use her skills with her weapon. She's more using her summoning, and I don't like that as much. I think they're getting lazy by using. Weiss has become a stationary fighter. She stands in one spot and uses her glyphs instead of moving like she used to. I prefer how she moved before. She used to fight elegantly, and she had the very beautiful fighting style Weiss does. I used to love the way she fights pre-Volume 4. Now it's kind of very much summoning, standing in one spot, using glyphs. I'm not really a huge fan of that. Another super chat. Why do the writers hate group conflict so much? I don't know. I don't know. No relationship issues between Yang and Blake. Weiss gets over her racism in a single season. Any difference in opinions immediately gone. It's boring. Yeah, it's especially obvious when it comes to the Blake and Yang. That was kind of in both cases, even before they got together. Before they got together in Volume 6, when Blake first gets back, Yang accepts her back like everything's cool, right? And then afterwards, when Blake pisses her off in Volume 6, they skip over the whole thing. Like, oh, she's I'm not mad anymore for no reason. She's just not mad anymore. And I don't understand why they're doing that. That's the problem. If Yang and Blake were spending a lot of time together and they were actually developing the relationship, I don't think people would be that upset. It's the fact that they're spending all this time together and they're not doing anything with it. They're just together. And then they're not developing the relationship. No real development in Bumblebee. I agree, Michael Smith. The choreography... Oh, snap. That's going pretty fast. Thanks for the super chat, Turbo Man. The choreography is really bad. It went downhill. Well, the choreography in the Chapter 12, Volume 7 was good. I just hated the fight in terms of storytelling. Are relationships always going to develop when couples are together, though? Are relationships always going to develop when couples are together? If you have limited screen time, I would hope so. If you're going to put Blake and Yang together all the time, then develop the relationship, please, or else people are going to get upset. Off topic, but do you think Salem should make Grim Pura? Hell no. Stay away from Grim Pura altogether. Just stay away from Grim Pura. Because if they do that, that might make me drop the show. I might drop the show for that. If Grim Pura pops up, I might be done. No lie. I'm so serious. But yeah, the biggest issue with the whole Blake and Yang relationship is they're not developing the relationship on screen. So people are just annoyed. Like, stop having them hanging around. Stop having Yang not talk to RWBY. Stop having Blake not talk to RWBY. Stop separating these two so much. Like, they're splitting up the group, putting RW with BY. Stop doing that if you're not going to develop the relationship. Let them all be together. Stop I can't say the word I'm not trying to say. Segmenting, I want to say. Stop doing that. Stop separating the team so much. Blake and Yang are a soulless couple. Thanks for the super chat. It doesn't have to be, though. It doesn't have to be soulless. They can be like, you know. Okay, let's move on from Yang for right now. Yang is we may come back to her when we talk about Blake. But Yang has some agency, and she did have some agency in Volume 7 where she's like, oh, let's tell Robin the truth. It was a stupid decision. In my opinion, it was a stupid decision. But she did have some agency there where she's like, all right, let's just tell Robin the truth behind Ironwood's back. I just didn't like the decision, but I give her credit for having agency in that regard and actually doing something, you know? But I didn't like the decision because they have no reason to not trust Ironwood. But that's the thing about the whole damn volume altogether. All right, let's talk about RWBY. Let's move on to the Ruby Rose. That's the next video I did was RWBY. And that was interesting. To say the least. Oh, shut up. That was interesting. Wow. So the thing about RWBY video is RWBY you should do a shit video. You would get a lot of video. That's the thing. I don't do videos for views necessarily, you know? See, if I made a video about this is a problem with the ship, that video will get a lot of views, but I don't care about that. I don't want to do a video about that. If I did that, I'm just doing it just because. Like, I'd have no desire to make a video about ships. I could make a video about Yang and Blake's relationship in general. I could make a video about that, like the two's relationship. But I kind of already did that with Blake and Yang separately. Like, in Yang video, I talked about her and Blake's relationship. And in the Blake's video, I talked about Blake and Yang's relationship separately. I could have made a video together, but I kind of split it up in that regard. So it's not really needed for Bumblebee at all. And if I made a video about ships, it would just be for the sake of triggering. And I don't want to make a video for the sake of just for the sake of triggering people. But yeah. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it, Wesley Ark. Romance is this type of story is bad because it takes time away from developing story and world building. It's bad for writers that can't handle it. You can write romance into these stories, but you just have to be skilled. You have to be a skilled writer to accomplish it. But it's not the easiest thing in the world. But it can be done. It can be done. All right, so let's talk about RWBY. Enough of Yang. Let's talk about RWBY. So a lot of people were triggered by a lot of folks were triggered by the title of this video. I said what I titled this video? Is RWBY still bad? I think that's what I said. Is RWBY still bad? And I'm not sure why people were upset by that, because it seemed like it's the natural progression of the title. Oh crap. I have more super chats. I feel like the reason Weiss' fighting style is so different now is if Rooster Teeth allows her to use her tools, she'd be broken. She's been nerfed altogether. We'll get to that, I guess, when I talk about RWBY. Remind me to talk about that when I get to Weiss. Her whole fighting style and her semblance and her lack of freaking time dilation. The forgotten plot details. Oh, thanks for the super chat, Mark, by the way. Mark's Manoff. Probably butchered that. I'm sorry. The forgotten plot details, or they forgotten plot. They probably meant to say they forgotten plot details. Didn't Weiss run away from home? No family conflict there. Did John run away from home? No, he didn't run away. John did not run away from home. He didn't. I'm pretty sure. Claxton, if you're in the chat, confirm that for me. No, I'm pretty sure John did not run away from home. I'm pretty sure. Tyrion notices his family crest. Did he? I'm not sure that happened either. But I could be wrong. The Albanian... I'm butchering that. The brothers hinted a shadow leader about the White Fang. There are many. You have to refresh my memory on that. I'm not remembering some of those plot details you're bringing up there, Mark. Mac Attack, thanks for super chat. Out of the main four, who do you think would be a better leader than RWBY herself? That's a good question. That's a damn good question. Beats me. I guess Yang. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who would be the leader. Probably Yang, I guess. But that's a good question. That's a great question. I never thought about that. Who would be the leader outside of RWBY as of today? Maybe Yang. I don't know. Your guess is good. Probably Weiss. Considering her reaction in the chapter 6, they're locked moment. I don't know. Weiss can't seem to handle herself under pressure, unfortunately. Yeah, so a lot of people were upset by my title for the RWBY video, which doesn't make much sense. My first video was why RWBY is a bad protagonist. My second video was, is she still bad? This makes logical sense. I'm not really trying to trigger anyone by my titles here. Just it flowed. I thought she was the worst protagonist I've ever seen, and now I'm asking, is she still bad? It's as simple as that. I don't understand why people are upset about that. So the thing about RWBY is, she started off flat, bland, boring, right? And after volume 6, or not after volume 6, after volume 5, she was more dynamic and expressed a wider range of emotions, right? And I was happy about that because it was better than what we had before. Like, they gave her additional characterization. They made her more dynamic, and it was good. I appreciate that. Now, was the arc satisfying? No. Because there was no arc. There was no arc. I mean, if you remember, she gets shot. She says that awful speech. She gives that awful speech to freaking Raven. She gets shot by Cinder. She gets knocked out by using her silver eyes, right? And then she wakes up. She's like, "I'm angry." That's her development. I'm angry out of nowhere. But it's better than nothing, so I took it. Like, great, she's different now. Awesome. I prefer this than the previous. I prefer this than the previous RWBY, so I'll take it. But make no mistake, the arc was not there. It was lacking, very much lacking. But the character was better, especially here. Let me freeze it right here. Boom. Right. This was peak RWBY. Volume 6, Chapter 6 was peak RWBY. It's the best the character has ever been, and probably ever will be. Honestly, this is like classic main character stuff, right? Everyone is being affected by the apathy grim. Everyone is being affected except for her. She's locked in. Her will to go on is stronger than everyone else's will. And her will in this moment is stronger than the apathy. So when she screams, "I'm not leaving without the lamp," it's like the peak moment for this character. Her resolve is on full display. She's stepping up as a leader. She's showing how this is like classic main character stuff. I love it. This is great. This is the best the character has ever been. Right, this moment right here. I'm not leaving without the lamp. It's the best she's ever been, without question. And I love this chapter because of that reason, because of what they did with Ruby Rose. Even though the path to get here wasn't very good, she just said, "I'm angry," and she developed in that regard, right? But this moment was so good, and I appreciated that we got to this, even though the journey was bad. We got to a point where RWBY felt like a main character, and it was good, right? I love this moment for RWBY. And I thought from going forward from here, her resolve, let me put the resolve on the screen. I thought her resolve is on full display. I thought the character was only going up, right? I thought, all right, they figured it out. They know what they did wrong. All right, it's time for RWBY to be a great character going forward. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. Unfortunately, we got the Silver Eyes exposition. Now, they've been putting this off for a while. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, well, they've been putting it off, so, it's going to be great. They created a character for this. They created Maria for the sole purpose of delivering the Silver Eyes exposition. So I was positive that this was going to be cool, that this was going to be interesting, it's going to be cool, but unfortunately, it was not. What activates the power? Well, the desire to protect people, of course. Protect people, protect your friends. Basically what the character has been all about since her creation. So she doesn't have to change at all. She doesn't have to adapt at all. She doesn't have to grow. She doesn't have to struggle. She just has to be herself. And I'm sorry, that's not compelling at all for a superpower for your protagonist. I'm sorry, it's not. It's the most cliche, boring thing I could think of. Your eyes work by the desire to protect your friends and save people. The thing you've been about your entire life. Yeah. It's just boring. It's bland. It's not interesting at all. And I was very much disappointed by the way her powers work. Because they've been building up to this, right? They've been building up to this moment. We finally get the exposition. And it's just like, okay, it's the power of friendship. Yeah, basically what it is, King. The power of friendship. That's what it is. And I was very much disappointed by that. And I can't be the only one. And then Maria gives the whole spiel about, this was quite shocking. I mean, this is like the most shocking thing maybe that happened in this segment here. Maria tells RWBY that Salem has been taking out silver-eyed warriors for years and for longest time. And RWBY puts it together that she puts it together that Salem is the one killing these people. Like, damn, Salem. She's killing the silver-eyed warriors. And at no point did this wench say, you know what? Oh yeah, my mom is a silver-eyed warrior, and she went missing. Oh my God, did Salem kill my mom? Dum dum dum. At no point did she say, oh, maybe my mom didn't come back because Salem took her out. How dim do you have to be to not come to the realization that Salem might be connected to your mom's disappearance? How dim do you have to be? Like, these writers write these characters, they put them in a box labeled idiot, and it just doesn't make any sense. RWBY is the most. Thanks for super chat. RWBY is the most exemplifies in the moment. Exemplifies with their flat character arc is okay. Too bad they don't think what they gave her asinine speeches. Well, yeah. She does exemplify what a flat character is because, well, she did up until volume 6. Then it just didn't explain how she got there. She just developed out of nowhere. And her speeches were terrible. We'll get to her speeches in a second. But yeah, it's just like, how do you not put that together? Like, how do you not come to the realization that, thanks for super chat. How do you not come to the realization that your mom was taken out? Might have been taken out by Salem. How as a writer do you justify that your main protagonist, whose mom was a silver-eyed warrior, went missing and did not put it 1-to-1 together? She doesn't know that 1 + 1 = 2. How? It's just and when you bring this stuff up, they call you a hater. Oh, he's hating on the show. Like, what? No, this is like basic stuff. Like, how could you not know that? Salem literally had to tell her that her mom and her mom were foes. Like her and her mom were foes back in the day. She literally had to tell her, "Oh, by the way, your mom said the same thing back in the day," for her to finally click. Oh yeah, it finally clicked in that moment. She like literally, Salem had to tell her for her to figure it out. And honestly, you could say the same thing about Yang to a certain extent. Like, but I don't know how much Yang. That's the thing about Yang and Summer Rose. I don't know how much Yang knows about Summer, because they make an effort to not have Yang talk about Summer at all. So I don't know how much Yang knows about Summer. So I can't really roast her. But this is ridiculous coming from RWBY. It's absolutely ridiculous coming from her. She should know. She should have put 1 and 1 together. She should have. It's quite ridiculous. And then in Volume 7, she doesn't talk about Civil Rise at all, which is an interesting decision. You just had a major arc in Volume 6 about her Silver Eyes, and then you don't talk about her Silver Eyes at all in Volume 7. Why? Your mother. Let me pull up that scene. Your mother. Oh. Yeah, I didn't understand. All you can do is laugh. All you can do is laugh, because there's no way she shouldn't have known that, right? Your mother. The fact that she didn't talk about her Silver Eyes in Volume 7 is quite baffling. But let's move on. After that, what happens after that? Oh yeah, RWBY yells at her depressed uncle. If you think we keep up with us kids, we'll be happy to have you. She yells at her uncle and says that they don't need any stinking adults, as if he wasn't the one who saved her on multiple occasions. He literally saved her life on 3 different occasions, but she don't need any adults. So back off, Crow. Stop acting like you're our responsibility. You're not. I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. The pushback I got to this scene was that RWBY was rude because she's trying to wake him up. That's what I was told. Like, I was told by several different people that RWBY was trying to wake him up. I don't know how you deal with freaking depressed people in your family, okay? But the last thing I would do would tell someone who's depressed is I wouldn't tell them, get over it, wake up. I don't care what you think. Keep up, loser. I'm not telling someone who's depressed that. I'm sorry. Maybe that's what you guys tell your depressed family members, but I'm not telling my depressed family members that they need to wake up and get a grip and stop being such a baby and stop being such a kid. Yeager Bomb, thanks for the super chat. I'm not going to bring up Monty because that's a touchy subject, and I don't like talking so much about Monty because he's not around. So, but thanks for the super chat. I respect your opinion. If you think the show has changed a lot since he's been gone, I can respect that. Honestly, 200 words cannot express my full opinion of the current RWBY. Anyways, I feel that Salem was both a good and bad move for the show. They really stagnated with her until Volume 7. Salem is going to be huge in the next volume. It could all come crumbling down for the show if they mess that up. But we'll get into that at a later date. They have to land Salem. They have to land Salem for the show to continue. Last one because I'm broke. Oh, well, I appreciate it. You don't have to. Broken and shattered glass. I appreciate the super chat. I promise you. Do you think that RWBY needs more filler episodes than the filled episodes? No, I think they need more. I think they need better written episodes. That's what they need. I don't think they need filler episodes. I think they need better written one. You mean the episodes we are getting aren't currently filler? Floof. They're not supposed to be. They're not supposed to be filler, man. They're not supposed to be. Yeah, so the whole point of she's trying to wake him up, that's just nonsense. It's just, you don't tell someone who's depressed to get over it. You don't tell them to, I don't care what you think, depressed family member. That's not how that works, okay? So don't give me that nonsense. She shouldn't be yelling at someone who she knows is depressed like that. It doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, Floof is on a roll with these freaking, these comments right now. Oh, man. All right, let's move on from yelling at her uncle, I guess, because he, in her speeches. No, we got to talk about her speeches. Her speeches were bad. Basically, all of her speeches were bad. I don't know why they thought it was okay for her to give these overbearing, clumsy-ass speeches. I think they believe that's how a leader operates. And that was her growing up, those speeches, but it did not work. It fell flat. And yeah, I think it was a mistake. Those speeches were not very good. Even the one she gave to freaking Cordo was bad. I didn't think that landed at all. The only thing that she said that landed in volume 6 when she said, I need you to trust me, that worked. It was short. It was sweet. She didn't yell. She just told her uncle, I need you to trust me. That was it. That was the best thing. Everything else was just overbearing and over the top. I think, thanks for the super chat. I think she knew her mother died, just didn't know how her mother died. Could be wrong. I think she knows her mother died too. I think she knows that. I think she knew that as well. I agree with you. But she should have known that Salem may have been involved with her mother's disappearance in some way. But the fact that she wasn't aware of that was quite shocking. They gotta nerf those eyes. There's no downside for excessive use. Well, right now she's passing out every time she uses her silver eyes, so we'll see how far that goes. Eventually she'll get used to that. But you can give her other obstacles like people she has to fight. She didn't necessarily have to lose to Grimm. But you're right though. They should have taken the silver eyes a different route in terms of the negative effects of it. Because right now it's just light bulbs that have no real downside besides her being knocked out afterwards. I'm not sure how that works. Why does she get drained by using her silver eyes? I don't understand how that works. But I doubt the writers know themselves. They need to have someone put Team RWBY in their place. They act way too cocky after beating the Aesops. Well, now they're as strong as elite huntresses and huntsmen, right? Because of the way that was handled. They're stronger than the average huntsman. So, I don't know who could put them in their place. I guess it had to be Salem herself. That's the only person that could freaking fight the great Team RWBY now. Because of the way it was handled. All right, so let's move on to freaking Penny. Good old Penny Palladino in regard to RWBY, of course. Now, a lot of people were upset when I did my Penny video. Because they thought that I jumped the gun. Like, why are you making a video right now?
It's a cartoon. It already happened.
Why are you doing a video right now? It's too early. Other things can happen, That's what they told me. And I said, okay, we'll see. And sure enough, they absolutely botched the Penny the Penny stuff. I get no pleasure. I get no pleasure out of this at all. Okay, I get no pleasure out of saying that this was bad, but it was, and it was a cartoon. Yeah, it was. That was not by accident, by the way. I intentionally meant to hit that. But Penny, it's interesting because Ruby was crying, and she was distraught and hurt and heartbroken over Penny's death. And then they brought Penny back all willy-nilly, like it wasn't a big deal. And I don't understand why. Thanks for super chat again, Georgie. I don't understand why they would do that. She says, not only her, the rest of the group don't care about Penny being back, but she's the one who's crying about it, right? So she should be the most taken aback that Penny's back, and makes it seem like no big deal. Literally in chapter 2, she's like, "This is all great." The first complete sentence that she gives Penny is, "This is all great. This is all great, Penny. But where are we staying?" Here it is, right here. The first thing out of her mouth was, "This is all great, Penny, but where are we staying?" I'm like, what? Seriously? This is what you're doing? Like, this is it. This is the Penny's back. The girl that she was crying over, and now you're saying, "Oh, okay, it's no big deal." And that's interesting because and this is the angry people being mad about the damn comment. They're like, "Oh, you're being premature. Like, have more scenes coming up here." Okay, let's wait and see the next scene. The next scene was even worse. It was worse than the first one. She's literally snoozing on Penny. She's like snoozing on Penny. Look at this. This is how much Ruby cares about Penny right now. She's like, let me see if I can freeze it right. She's sleeping on this girl. They're not talking about the incident. They're not talking about how she felt. They're not talking about the pain she was in, the depression she was in. She's like, "Oh, Penny's back, and it's no big deal at all." What a mistake. What a mistake. She asked these awful, who gives a shit, water cooler type questions that no one gives a shit about. She's like, "Oh, were you able to make new friends?" Are you kidding me? Like, who cares about that? Were you able to make new friends? Hey, what's up, CJ? How you doing? It's ridiculous. Who cares about this small talk nonsense? The girl was dead. You thought she was dead. And this is what you give us? It's ridiculous. But I'm the crazy person. I'm the one who's being unreasonable of my criticism. Have you been able to make any new friends? Why would you even ask that? Who cares? Who cares? If Penny can make new friends. Your friend is back. You thought she was dead. Who cares? Like, what is going on here? Thanks for the super chat, Alec. The whole atlas feels small. It would be logical to see armies in giant mechs and not just one squad of elite huntsmen, but several platoons of them. I agree. But then you have to model those. You have to model those people. Then, and they don't want to do that. But it's awful. This whole Penny arc with RWBY is bad. It has no emotion. It has no weight. I don't know. I would think RWBY fans and Penny fans would be upset by this. Honestly, it's really bad. I don't know what else to say about it. It's dry, and I know the writer. I'm not gonna say who wrote this. I don't want to call someone out in that regard. But it's just bad. It's really bad. Penny's back because she needs to be a MacGuffin. She needs to be a MacGuffin for volume 8. So in MacGuffin, I mean the thing that the characters have to chase after. So Salem will have to chase after Penny because she's the maiden, and they need the maiden power to get into the damn vault to open the door. So they'll need to chase after Penny. So Penny will become the MacGuffin of Volume 8. They'll have to chase after her. So that's why she's there now. And I don't care. I don't care. Let's move on from Penny because before I say something, I'm going to regret. So the thing about RWBY in Volume 7 especially is she's being asked to lead. It's her responsibility to lead the whole entire group, which is interesting. It's really interesting. Because I don't know why. Why is she being asked to make all the tough calls? I don't understand. Why is she being... I understand that she's leading Team RWBY, but why is everyone else falling behind her, per se? Is it because she flew into Cordovan's gun in Volume 6? Was it because she gave the "we don't need no adults" speech in Volume 6 to her uncle? Is that why? It's because of all the loud yelling she's been doing? Like, why are everyone falling in behind this little girl? Why is she being asked to make all the hard decisions? It's interesting. I don't know why. I mean, question, during the time as Team Ranger, didn't John make some of the decisions and some of the calls when RWBY was in Team Ranger? So now they're all together in this group. Why is everyone following her lead? Because she yelled at Crow? Because she's Crow's uncle? Is that why? It's interesting. It's really, Wait a minute. Quick question. Did I talk about, how, I can't remember, I already forgot. Did I talk about how Yang and Summer's relationship? Did I talk about how the writers are skipping over, Yang's relationship with Summer? They're not talking about it at all. Did I talk about that? I think I did. I want to make sure. But yeah, they're not, it's interesting because, I didn't talk about it. You said, nope, I didn't, Michael? Yes, you did? Okay, ish. Okay, one thing I'll say about Yang. Quick thing I'll say about Yang and Summer. For the folks who say that, people say that, when I say like, oh, Summer is Yang's mom, clearly, right? And they say things like, no, Raven is Yang's mom. You're wrong, Vexed. I'm like, all you have to do is ask this one question. I may have already said this, but Summer is Yang's mom for the very reason why Crow is RWBY's uncle. If you ask these same people, like, okay, you think Raven is Yang's mom and not Summer? Quick question. Who is RWBY's uncle? And they'll say, Crow. And they'll say, okay, well then shut up. Because for the very reason why you think Crow is RWBY's uncle, Summer is Yang's mom. For the very reason. For the exact same reason. So you have to be consistent. If Crow is RWBY's uncle, then guess who's her mom? Summer, not Raven. I just wanted to, I don't know if I already said that, but I just want to get that off my chest. I don't remember if I said that or not, because it's very annoying when people say things like, oh, Summer's not Yang's mom, it's actually Raven. And I'm like, just shut up. Seriously, just shut up. She was raised by Summer. She was literally raised by Summer. Anyway, a parent is not the one who gives birth. Correct, Michael Smith. The ones who cares for you, the one who raised you. That is correct. Not Raven. Her mom is Summer. Yang should be a part of all the freaking conversations that RWBY's in with Summer. All these damn back and forth conversations that RWBY is having with Crow. Yang should be a part of it as well. Because not only was Yang raised by Summer, she knew Summer longer than RWBY did. So Yang should have an emotional connection with Summer as well. And it's absolutely dog crap that she's being cut out of all of the Summer talk. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. They should be bonding. Yang and RWBY should be bonding over the Summer stuff, and they're not at all. And it's a mistake. And I don't know why they haven't caught that. It's awful. It's truly awful that they're skipping over Yang's stuff with Summer. But well, I'll leave that alone. I'll go on to a freaking continue on with RWBY, because I could go all day on Yang. Honestly, I could talk all day on Yang. So she's the one making the tough calls for whatever reason. It doesn't make sense. But fine, let's accept that, right? She's making the tough calls. Nobody's questioning her except for maybe Yang. No one else is questioning her at all. This young girl with no experience is lying. She's making the decision to lie. Everyone's going along with it for no reason besides the fact that she's the main character. For no other reason except the fact that she's the main character. They're all following Ruby's lead. I don't understand why that's happening. But it's fine. I would like an explanation as to why they're all following her lead no matter what. Literally, no matter what. She makes the decision to lie. And they're like, okay, I guess we'll do it because Ruby wants to do it. We'll lie. Okay. Interesting. And because Ruby's line never made sense, because her fibs never made sense, I spent most of Volume 7 waiting for the lie to blow up in her face. Can you imagine that? Can you think about that? You are the viewer of a show, and you are hoping, you are wishing, you are praying that the main character gets her comeuppance. You're like hoping that it blows up in her face because of how it's handled. It's crazy. You shouldn't be hoping or wishing that the main character gets backlash or like you should be hoping that she suffers for her lying. That's what happens in this volume because you end up rooting for her to have to deal with her lying because it doesn't make sense. Had her lying make sense, it'd be different. Because her lying never made sense, you end up hoping that it all comes back on her and blows up in her face. Thanks for the super chat, Alex. I'm curious about how their dad romanced Raven and then Summer. Well, when Raven left, Summer was there. Summer was there for him, apparently, and it kind of just happened, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so I think that's how that went down. So the reasons why the reason Ruby gave for not believing, not believing, but not trusting Ironwood was three things. How things looked in Atlas. Not sure what that had to do with you not telling him the truth, but okay. She's worried about his state of mind. So she decided to lie to him because lying to a man that you think he's unstable, you think you're worried about what he's doing, and you think the better approach is to lie. Interesting. Lie and hope it all works out in the end to the guy who you don't trust, his state of mind. Interesting. You know, maybe Ironwood would feel better about things if you told him the truth. Maybe if he knew that Salem was a human and she had flaws and she was a human being, so that means she's flawed. She can make mistakes. She get emotional. Maybe if he knew that she was a human, he wouldn't be so panicked and be so paranoid. Now, did you think about that? Did you think about that, Ruby? I doubt it. You could argue they'd be better off telling him the truth from the get-go, because then he'd know what he's dealing with. He'd know that Salem is a human being who has flaws, who has emotions. She can be tricked. She can be fooled. Right now, he damn near thinks that Salem is a deity. Right now, he doesn't know that she's a human at all. Had she told him she was a human, maybe he'd feel better about their chances. You know, it's just something to think about. Now, from my understanding, the reason why she's lying is supposed to like echo Osmond's. The purpose of her lying is supposed to echo Osmond's lying, right? Like, oh, I don't know if I'm just like Oz or if I'm doing the right thing. And then Oscar says, isn't that what Osmond did to us? You're lying just like Osmond. So I'm guessing we'll get the continuation of that in Volume 8, maybe. I don't know. Salem is perfect vexed. Ruby needs a serious timeout. Ironwood MVP. Ironwood did nothing wrong. I agree. Yeah, so her line never made sense. All right, so that's another thing that brought Ruby. Her line just never made sense. We can go to the BS meter. Where is it? Here it is. Here it is right here. And suddenly Ironwood was there anymore. I say Ironwood. Suddenly Osmond wasn't there anymore. Yeah, her line never made sense. It never made any sense. So that's the thing. Now, is Ruby making mistakes bad writing? No, because she's a little dope of a kid, right? So she's supposed. I would expect her to make mistakes. That's fine. I'm happy that she made mistakes. It's interesting that no one ever called her out on it. No one ever addressed it to her besides maybe Yang a little bit when she asked, why aren't we telling Osmond? Or not Osmond. Why aren't we telling Ironwood? So that kind of, no one really calls her out at all for lying. No one asks the questions why she's lying. Even Crow, grown ass man Crow, was like, "Oh, good job, RWBY, like for lying. Like we're gonna go with your lies." Like he doesn't question her at all. He's like, "Yeah, you're doing the right thing, kid." It's just weird. Like, it's just the storytelling. The writing here is just, I don't know. What the hell is this? Am I seeing that right? Thanks for the super chat. I might be seeing things. I don't get why everyone acts like this, like it's the end. Wait, I'm losing it. It went away. Where's it? Here it is. Is it? Here it is. I don't get why everyone acts like this is the end when they learn that Salem can't be killed. Why not ask Lamp how to stop her, how to restrain her? I don't know. That's the writing. Thanks for super chat. I very much appreciate it. Thank you so much for the super chat. I don't know why they behave that way. Just ask a better question. I said that from the get-go. They're asking bad questions. Don't ask if I can kill Salem. Just ask how can Salem be killed. Now, if she says she can't, that'd be different. But they're not asking the proper questions, and they addressed that in Volume 7 when Nora said maybe someone else could, but they didn't. But I don't know why they're acting that way. They're like, oh no, you can lock her away. You can put her in a damn vault, for crying out loud. You can do something. I don't know why they think they have to kill her. It doesn't make any sense. I agree with you, Alec. I don't understand. Thank you so much for super chat. I don't understand why they're doing that. They could absolutely shoot her up into space or something. I don't know. Interesting. Just don't ask the writers. They'll probably tell you it's a spoiler question. Out of curiosity, I wouldn't mind if you make a video explaining why you think people keep coming back to this show. Why do I think people keep coming back to the show no matter what? Even if it's bad? Even if they think it's bad? Probably because they're invested, like me. They want to know what happens. At this point, they're along for the ride. They want to know what happens. Once you're invested, sometimes even when you're invested, no matter how bad it is, you still feel like, you want to know what happens. You're curious to see if things change, if things improve, That's probably why. And maybe they feel a certain connection to the show based on how they feel about Rooster Teeth and how they feel about Monty and different. There's a whole lot of reasons. There's a whole lot of reasons why people keep coming back to the show, even if they don't necessarily love it. And let's say you like being a part of the RWBY community, that'd be another reason why you would stick around. You might not be enjoying the show. You like the community, so you keep watching it for that reason. I still enjoy RWBY despite its major flaws. There you go. Michael Smith put it perfectly. Some people enjoy it. They acknowledge their mistakes, but they still watch the show. So no one questions RWBY. Okay, let's move on, RWBY. Let's move on from that. So the consequences of RWBY lying, the big payoff was the person that she was lying to you, the person that she was lying to not trusting her anymore. That was the big payoff of this whole thing. Which for me was just, it didn't land all the way, Of course, Ironwood would stop trusting her. That's it? That's the only thing? I thought she was going to get her ass kicked by the Aesops, but then that didn't happen for reasons unknown. I don't know. I just don't know. There weren't any real consequences besides Ironwood not trusting her. She beats the Aesop's ass, and she gets off scot-free in the ship. So I don't know. The ace flops. That is correct. The ace flops. Couldn't have said it better myself, King. The ace flops. That's exactly what it is. I'm stealing that. The ace flops. That's the name. That's what I'm gonna call them going forward. The ace flops. So as far as Volume 8 goes, we'll probably, now that she knows that Salem was connected to Summer Rose's death, my guess is that in Volume 8, we'll find out. They're setting it up now. They're setting it up clearly, so we'll find out what happened to Summer in Volume 8. I'm sure, right? Salem will tell Ruby verbatim what happened to Summer, and that's how she'll find out. And she may break. I know the VA, the voice actress for Ruby, Lindsay Jones, she wants Ruby to break. I want Ruby to break. It needs to happen. She needs to go through some kind of struggle, some kind of she needs to go through something as a protagonist. So right now, she's not really suffering it. She's not really dealing with any kind of struggle, whether it be her lying, the consequences of her lying, whether it be her silver eyes. She's not really going through any real struggle. So maybe in Volume 8, when Salem tells her what happened to her mom, because that will happen, they're setting it up clearly, maybe then she'll have some kind of struggle or some kind of mental break that she has to then overcome. But I wouldn't get my hopes up, honestly. Ruby is a love-hate relationship at this point. I can understand that. I can understand how someone can love-hate the Aesops. Yep. The Aesops. I understand how someone can love-hate at this point in this show. The ace flops. Yeah, the ass flops. Jesus, taking it to another extreme. The ass flops. The ace flops. Jesus. The ace oops. The ace oops. The ace flops. I don't know. I like more the ace oops or the ace flops. I like the ace flops. That really rolls off the tongue. All right, let's move on from Ruby. I'm done talking about this woman. Let's talk about everyone's favorite character, Blake Belladonna. Now, you guys might be surprised by this. I feel for Blake. Honestly, I feel for this character because she's in a position where she doesn't have anything going for her. She's got nothing going for her at all. The interesting thing about this video is Ruby read it. Ruby read it, actually liked this video. I was surprised. Cause Ruby read it doesn't like E in my shit. And they like this video. Maybe because I started off the video saying I don't hate Blake. Maybe that's what it was. If I come out and say I don't hate the character, if I don't say if the title of the video is super neutral, then Ruby Reddit will like it, apparently. Ogden could still use a relic to make a prison for Salem. Yeah, maybe. Use the relic of creation to make a prison of some sort. I could see that. How can Salem be defeated? Exactly. That's what you ask. Better question. That's what you do. Thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it. So the reason why I feel for Blake is because all of her storylines have been ended. All of her relevant storylines have been closed. So there's not much she can do. What can she do? All she can do is be the other half of a ship right now because she doesn't have anything going for her. The White Fang has been written out of the story. They're out. It's gone. Her activism is gone. It's non-existent. She doesn't give a shit about the Faunus right now. She lets racist people talk to her any kind of way. There's no passion. There's no fire. There's no defense. She just stands there and takes it. And the thing about the freaking White Fang, it's funny. I think it was Klaxon that said this on Twitter. I think that was her who said this. She said, it would make sense for White Fang the faction of the White Fang that were in Mantle to fold into Robin's support group. They fold right into Robin's movement. It makes much sense. It makes really good sense because with the White Fang being dissolved, they would be looking for direction. And it would make sense that the White Fang would then fall in line under Robin's movement. And that's how you utilize the Faunus or the White Fang movement in Mantle. You can, and in Atlas, you freaking fold that right into Robin's movement. It makes perfect sense. It writes itself. But again, if you do that, then you have to explain why there were no damn Faunus at the damn election party when the freaking Penny got framed, and when the lights went out, there's no goddamn fondness with the freaking night vision, unfortunately. So they can't do that because then you have to scrap that awful scene, you know? You can't have the freaking White Fang faction and Mantle fall in line and support Robin because then you have freaking fondness at the damn Mantle massacre. And then the whole entire scene, the whole entire garbage scene wouldn't exist, right? So that's why they can do that, I guess. So she's not talking about discrimination. She's not talking about the racists that are attacking her and disrespect her. They're using discrimination against Blake to elevate Weiss, and Blake just stands there doing nothing. The only thing going for their budding relationship, or the only thing she has going for her is that budding, underdeveloped relationship with the Yang. Unfortunately, I agree that the White Fang should have dissolved into Robin's movement. Yep, I agree. Yep. Cal brought that up on Twitter, I believe, and she was right. It would have made all the sense in the world, but they didn't do that for whatever reason. Were there any White Fang in Atlas? I don't know. They may have been. You would think there'd be a lot of fondness in freaking Mantle, so you would think there'd be some kind of White Fang movement in Mantle. You would think, right? It would make sense based on the world they created that it would be White Fang in Mantle. You would think, but who knows? It would just make sense for there to be White Fang in Mantle, but they were all gone. Somehow, some way. There was none of them there. Interesting. So they've been written out of the story. They're gone. There's no more White Fang. It's over. It's out of the story. It's kaput. Now, so the only thing she has going for her now is the budding relationship between her and Yang. Unfortunately for her, it's underdeveloped, it's underworked, and they're skipping over important character arcs or relationship arcs, I'll call it. And I called that out in the Blake video. Here, when I talk about how they totally skipped over the most important part of the arc. And I literally freaking rewinded and fast forwarded to all their moments to find the moment. I just couldn't find it. I could not find the moment when Blake learns a lesson from Volume 6 when she told Yang that she would protect her and treated Yang like a victim, and she learned the lesson. It was never learned. It was just rushed right over it. They skipped right over it. And then when I call these things out, people get upset. Well, actually, I won't take that. I'll take that back. People weren't upset by this. A lot of people agree with me. They skipped right over it. So if you're going to have Blake and Yang spend so much time together, develop the relationship, please, for crying out loud. You know? I don't think that's asking for too much. She's nothing more than one half of a ship. Now, to be fair to Blake, she did have one character moment in Volume 7, and that was the whole, how far do we have to go to keep doing? How far do we have to go to keep doing the right thing? Right? She said that to Yang in Volume 7, and that's a character moment, right? But let me see if I can find it. I know it's in here somewhere. I think. Where is it? Here it is. So she tells Yang that she doesn't know how far she'll have to go to keep doing the right thing. And that's a character moment. It's a character moment. I think this would have worked better had she have been the one who killed Adam. Let's say Adam tried to attack Yang, or tried to kill Yang, and then Blake had to kill Adam in self-defense to defend Yang. Right now, Yang and Blake both killed Adam, which I think is stupid. Had Blake killed Adam herself, that would give her something like really weighty to have to deal with. Like, I killed somebody. I killed Adam to save Yang. Now it's really bothering me. I think this would have worked better if that was the case. But it's a character moment. It works fine enough. I don't like the fact that she doesn't trust Ironwood because it doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're going to trust Ironwood, if you don't trust Ironwood, then why the hell do you trust Robin, the woman you've never met before a day in your life? I don't understand. Robin could have spilled the beans. She could have told everyone. Why did she trust Robin? Robin has given you no reason to trust her at all. Something to think about. Like, why did she trust Robin? Why? Can someone explain to me why she trusts Robin and not Ironwood? Answer the question. I'm joking. Why? Someone explain it to me. Why? Why did she trust Robin and not Ironwood? She doesn't know Robin from Adam. No, she shouldn't know him at all. And that wasn't a pun when I said that. When I said Adam. She doesn't know Adam. She didn't know him at all. Her at all. She doesn't know if she's going to spill the beans. She could have told the whole damn... She could have told all of Mantle. She could have told her happy huntresses. Because she's hot? Because she read the script. Fair enough. Because the plot says so. It was Yang's idea, but she went along with it. It's just interesting. Like, Ironwood has done all the right things the whole time. He gave them new weapons. He looked out for them. He brought them into the fold. He told them the plan. Gave them back the relic. It's like, no, I'll trust Robin. This is weird. Please stop. We just want to... Yeah, interesting. But she did have a character moment here. That's that one character moment. I'll give her that. She had a character moment. She had. Oh boy, is there anything else I need to talk about, Blake? Thanks again for the super chat. Thank you so much. One more thing before I go. I think positivity for anything is a good thing for a fandom, but you need at least one person to point out the stuff. You need at least one person to point out stuff stable. That's you for RWBY. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm sure I butchered that sentence, but my bad for that. But thank you. I got what you're saying. Thank you so much. Another super chat. Thanks so much. Mac Attack. Where'd it go? What the heck? I see. Okay. She trusts her because RWBY has a Fani with her. Okay. She's been in a similar rebellion situation as Robin's ex, White Fang. I guess. I mean, it's very risky. It's a very risky. Very, 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 very risky decision. Let me move on from freaking Blake and let's go on to my favorite character who I had to rip. Oh, well, I wouldn't say I ripped her. I thought I was very much fair with my good old Weiss. All right. Let's talk about my favorite character, Weiss Schnee. Good old Weiss Schnee. Okay. Snow Angel, the Ice Queen. The ice melted, unfortunately. The ice did melt. All right, so where do I even begin with Weiss? She's my favorite character. You guys know that. But I'm not going to lie. That's one thing I want to make clear. I'm not going to lie for the sake of lying, for the sake of preserving Weiss as the best girl. I wasn't going to do that. I was going to tell the truth, and I was disappointed. There's no way around that. Everybody knows how pumped I was for Weiss. I was very much pumped for this character. I was looking forward to it. I was looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with the Winter. I was looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with her time in Atlas. And I was disappointed. Okay? I'm I'm not out to hurt anyone's feelings with these videos. I swear. It's just truly how I believe. I truly feel this way. I was disappointed with the character. No way around it. I wish Weiss was better. Maybe she could have been more witty, like in what Weiss thinks about a series. She was just disappointing, all around disappointing. Okay, so let's address some of these issues that people have with this Weiss video. Starting with number one. Let's start from the top, okay? I said that there was no downside to Weiss returning home. And I stand by that because it's true. I stand by it because there is no downside to her returning home. Like, at all. Besides the fact that, well, returning home by herself especially, besides not being with her friends. How do I know that? Well, she wouldn't be alone, right? Winter is there. The reason why she went to Haven in the first place is to find Winter. Now, Winter is in Atlas, so I'm not sure why anyone would think she'd be alone or she'd be lonely or she'd be by herself, because Winter is there. She could travel with Crow. She could travel with someone else, whether it be Oscar or Maria. They can hide in the luggage, and she would not be alone. So that's one, right? Two. So even if you try to argue that she has abandonment issues, she would not be alone because she'd be with her sister, right? And the second thing is the whole they might have to take her back to her father. That whole bullshit, right? That's a lie. That was the writers were lying to you. They were lying to you, okay? That's a lie. And Volume 7 showed us that. They showed it was a lie, right? There was no downside to her returning home because when it showed her in Volume 7, not only did she not have to go back home, not only did they not talk about her returning home, not only did she not avoid her father, she basically went up and told him, yeah, hey, Dad, I'm here. And nothing you can do about it. I'm not going back home, right? That's basically the energy she gave off. So I'm not sure why at any point Weiss would think that she'd be forced to return home. It's all nonsense. It's BS. So why is she so apprehensive about returning home? Why? If she was a minor, I can understand if she was a minor, right? I can understand that. But she's clearly not, based on what I've seen in the show. So why was she so worried about returning home? Unless it just has to do with not wanting to be away from her friends. If that's the reason, I understand that, fine. But I don't think that's what the writers were going for. They tried to make it seem like Weiss was worried about returning home because of her father, but it doesn't make sense because Winter is there, one, and two, she would never be forced to return home based on what I've seen. So why was she so apprehensive unless she didn't want to leave her friends? Fine. But I don't think that's what the writers were going for. I don't. Super Chat. Just reminding you about the nerfs to the combat. Now they're going. Oh yeah. The combat nerfing. Thanks for reminding me about that. Do I have that on the? Matter of fact, let me just bring it up now so I don't forget. So Weiss used to have a very lovely fighting style, right? And now it's gone for the sake of summoning. And I'm not a fan because the thing that made me love Weiss back in the early days was her fighting style, her lovely fighting style. We saw some of that in the her character short. So I'm confused as to why they've turned her into a summoning bot, unless it's just easier to animate. They don't want to animate her swing around that freaking rapier. So they know what? We'll have her stand in one spot and summon, which is really unfortunate. Her fight against freaking, what's her face? Volume 5. What is the woman's name? What's the name of the girl who she fought in Volume 5 now? In the Volume 5, the Battle of Haven? Vernal! Thank you. Jesus Christ. Wow. Thank you so much. Vernal, yeah. She got her ass kicked by Vernal by summoning, she kept trying to summon instead of fighting. It was weird. And now against the fight against Mero, she's not fighting with her rapier anymore. It's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. She's become a conjurer, and I don't like that at all. And not only that, she's not even. See, this is the thing. The writers made her so great. They made her semblance so great that they now have to make her stupid in the sense that she's not using time dilation and she's not fighting how she used to because they realize she's too OP. So they basically retcon the time dilation. They're just not bringing it up at all, which is really, really bad. This is what they should have done. Because since Winter and Weiss have such similar, well, not similar, the same semblance, what they should have done was written it so that Weiss could never figure out time dilation. Like, she just could never figure it out at all. Winter mastered time dilation, but Weiss just could never figure it out. One, right? That's one thing. And two, Weiss would then grow to become a better summoner than Winter. And then that's how you differentiate between the two characters. So now you have them, you can keep them both around. Winter would be a master at time dilation, and Weiss would be a master at the freaking summoning. Like, Winter could also summon too, but Weiss would become a better summoner than Winter. That's how you differentiate between the two. That's what they should have done. But right now, they've just decided to dumb down Weiss, and she doesn't remember any of her powers. She doesn't remember time dilation. She doesn't remember how to fight with a rapier. She doesn't remember how to fight with a sword. It's really bad. It really makes me not want to like Weiss sometimes, because I'm like, why are you guys doing this? She used to have a great fighting style. Now you've dumbed her down. It's really sad. It's really sad. I liked her fighting style in Volume 2. Very much so, especially in the train sequence in Volume 2. I missed that a lot, but they've gotten away from it completely, which is unfortunate. She's just a summoning girl now. She's a conjurer. Yeah. I wonder if they'll ever bring back time dilation. It's gonna feel so weird and out of place. Can you imagine? Like, out of nowhere, it's like, oh, time dilation. Like, where has this been for the last 5 volumes? It's gonna be so weird. Ay. Yeah, but thanks for reminding me. But I wanted to talk about her fighting, her lack of using time dilation, or lack of using her sword. It's very unfortunate, honestly. Where was I? Thanks for that. Where was I? Let's see. Take back her father. Brother be her friends. Oh yeah. So I didn't like how they tried to act like Weiss was afraid of returning home. Then completely reneged on that whole thing. What they should have done, I said this in the video, what they should have done is just say, okay, now that I'm a professional huntress with a license, I now do not have to return home. That would have solved the whole thing. So now it makes sense. Oh, that's why she didn't want to return home. She would have had no choice but to return to her father, right? But now that she's a huntress and has a license, she doesn't have to. That's how I would have handled that, but they just didn't do that. What do you know? I don't know what to say about that, but that's why what it did. Okay, let's move on from her lack of not wanting to return home. Let's talk about the whole. This is a point of contention amongst the fans in this video. A major point of contention. Apparently, I'm not allowed to think that Weiss shouldn't yell like a banshee, like Kevin putting on the aftershave when she saw the dead bodies in the bed, right? She screamed like Kevin. Kevin McAllister speaking, the father. And she screamed like this kid when she saw the dead bodies in the bed, and I didn't like it very much. And people were upset by that. They said, "Oh, what are you talking about, Vex? She's allowed to be afraid." Like, first of all, let's be clear. Literally, someone freaking tweeted this today. She said, "Weiss wasn't in the right state of mind." Okay. She was scared. She was scared of dealing with the Grimm. They can drain her of her energy. She's scared of people with the dead bodies in the bed. Like, okay. Here's the thing. I don't have a problem with Weiss being afraid. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. I have a problem with the screaming and the hyperventilating. That's what I have a problem with. I have a problem with her screaming like she lost her damn mind. Because it makes sense. Like, why are you screaming like that? Why are you hyperventilating? You're a huntress. It's not that serious. Why are you the only one? Why is no one else screaming like that? Why is no one else hyperventilating? It's over the top. It was over the top. I don't know why they felt that. Maybe they felt like they had to do the trope. They had to do the whole scary trope of someone screaming. It picked Weiss. I never got it. It just didn't make sense to me. And another thing, this guy said, he said, the difference between, like, if you remember my music video I played, he said the difference between that and what I did or my critique and the difference between scenes where she was fighting at the Fall of Beacon and fighting the Lancer Grim is that she was confident. I'm like, what? What do you talk? Like, what do you mean she was confident? Like, what are you talking about? Like, why wouldn't she be confident in the cellar? So let me get this straight. She had the wherewithal. In fact, let me see if I can play the music video right now. Hold on, let me see something real quick. Some of you guys can hear this. Can you guys hear this at all? Let me know. How about now? I just realized I had something muted the whole time. That's why there was no damn audio. My bad, guys. I just discovered why there was no audio. I had desktop audio muted.
I dare you to try to find one thing wrong with any of the moves you're doing.
Well, you're going to have audio going forward. I just figured out at the end of the stream, I figured out why there's no audio.
Weiss is in the cellar. She runs up the stairs like a bad
My bad.
And to her surprise, the exit is locked.
There's going to be audio coming from this desktop now.
Look at that face.
Poor Weiss. If only there was a way for her to bust through the door. They're locked. They're locked. This is a real toe tapper. They're locked. They're locked. Oh, is it echo now? Oops.
I dare you to try and find one thing wrong with any
That ending to the video is just perfect. It's perfect ending to the video. Super perfect. Yeah, so that, oh wait, I know what's going on here. I know why that's doing that. Wait, let me fix, I think I fixed it right now. Wait. Monitor. No, that shouldn't have been it. Huh. Anyway, I don't know why there's an echo. I thought I knew why the echo, but now I'm not sure why there's an echo. Because it should be going through the, yeah, I don't know why there's an echo. Whoops. So, let me get rid of this. What's going on? Yeah, so I'm not sure why there was echo there. So anyway, where was I? Damn, what was I talking about?
You guys know how I feel about Weiss.
Oh yeah, so this is the idea that she was confident during that time, right? But here's the thing. She had the wherewithal to know that she could use her glyphs. Remember when she was fighting the Lancer Grim and literally the ship was crashing. It was going down. She had the wherewithal and the awareness to use her glyphs to stop the freaking to slow down the descent of the plane. She slowed down the plane from crashing while using glyphs, right? Is there still an echo? Why is that happening? I don't know why that would be happening right now because I'm not. Nothing changed. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. I'm gonna mute the audio again. Okay, desktop audio is gone. Something with how I wired this thing right now is making the desktop audio go through, make it echo. So I figured it out later. I think I fixed it now. Right? Is it good? Let me know if it's good now. Better? Echo gone? Yeah. I'll figure that out, why that's happening. Because it shouldn't be echoing unless I'm crazy. For some reason, the desktop audio is interesting. Well, anyway, I figured it out later. So explain to me this. Why can she compose herself and use her glyphs when a plane is crashing, right? But she's flabbergasted when the door's locked and she can't get through. It's ridiculous. There's no excuse. There's no excuse for it. There's no, oh, she's afraid. I'm sorry. There's no excuse for that. I'm sorry. I can't make myself not think that was stupid. It was stupid. She should have absolutely known that she could get through the door. I mean, am I off? Like, let me know if I'm off on that. But I'm pretty sure I should have known that she could get through the damn door. I don't know what went to that decision. I'm not sure why they did that. Like I said, I don't have a problem with the character being afraid. I have a problem with how she reacted. I have a problem with her screaming and hyperventilating. I have a problem with her forgetting that she's a huntress and she can bust through the damn door. I have a problem with that. She can be afraid all day. I don't have a problem with her being afraid. That's fine. I wonder why that was echoing. I'm not going to get that through my head. I'm not going to be able to forget why I get that now. I'm going to be stuck on that for like the rest of the stream. Like, why was that echoing? I'll figure it out later. Why should have been central figure in Volume 7? Agreed. To reinforce her growth and better characterize the city through her lens. I agree. I haven't got there yet. I'm going to get there. Don't worry. So it didn't make sense as to why she didn't know that she can get through the door. So I was upset by that, right? But then, I gave the show its props. I said, hey, Weiss steps up and apologizes for a racist acts, She defends Blake against racist. Like I said in the video, it's like she threw her past self in the garbage when she threw that guy into the garbage. Like, no, this is how it used to be. And she didn't like seeing what she used to be, so she throws him away in the garbage, right? And I was fine with that. I was fine with all that. They used Blake to elevate Weiss. I'm good with that. That's fine. And I complimented the writers on that. I gave them compliments on that. I did. Then, what else happened after that? So let's just dive right into Volume 7 altogether. Okay? Let's just dive right into Volume 7 Weiss. This was the most disappointing volume for Weiss by far. By far. Does she show them around Atlas? No. She didn't show them the sights. She didn't talk about Atlas at all. We don't even get to see Atlas. Are we going to see Atlas at all in Volume 8? I'm not sure. Are we going to see Atlas? Because Salem has arrived. She's here now, so they don't have time to show Atlas off. Interesting. So we may not even get Atlas at all. Wow. You would think that Weiss would have a knowledge of what's going on. You would think that she would know what was going on. So, like, I'm not sure why she's keeping her mouth shut. She's very quiet during this time. It doesn't make sense because she knows what's going on just as much as Maria does. She knows about Mansell. She knows about Atlas. Why isn't she talking right now? Why isn't she explaining what's going on with Mansell? Why isn't she explaining Atlas? It's weird. Like, you have Weiss there. Why are you using Maria to explain Atlas and the history of Mantle and the kingdom? It's weird. So she doesn't talk about Atlas. She doesn't walk around and show them Atlas. She doesn't get recognized at all, except for like twice in Mantle. That was early on in the volume. She doesn't get recognized. Maybe she also got recognized by the other drunk guy, but I'm not sure. And then she doesn't even publicly, like, the biggest thing I thought was going to happen, the thing I thought was going to happen in volume 7, I thought that she was going to publicly distance herself from the family name. In some form or fashion, I thought Weiss was going to separate herself from her father in the family name in some public forum of some sorts. Because right now, the entire world, and especially Atlas, the kingdom of Atlas, they think she's the pampered heiress. She thinks she's just a pampered girl who doesn't work for anything, who hasn't done anything of any importance. So I thought, okay, in volume 7, this will be the time that she branches out from her family. She makes it known to the world. She's making known to the world, to the people of Atlas, that I am not my father's child. I have my own brain, my own mind. I'm going to... What was the quote? What's the quote? Carve out my own way. Oh, thanks, Michael. Thanks for hanging around. I'm about to wrap up the stream here in a second anyway. I've been going for 2 hours. How long has it been? 2 hours and change. I won't be that much longer anyway. Thanks for hanging around, Michael. So I'm thinking, okay, this is the time where she's going to make it known to the Kingdom of Atlas that she's separating herself from the family. Does not happen whatsoever. Not one bit does she actually separate herself from the family. It's interesting because Robin is running against her father, and she's literally the only member of Team RWBY who does not talk to Robin. I repeat, Weiss Schnee, the girl whose father is running against Robin, she's literally in a race against her father, and she's the only member of Team RWBY who does not talk to Robin. It's really remarkable. I don't understand why they wouldn't have her talk to Robin. I mean, it writes itself. Can you imagine? Like, what is the interconflict with Weiss? Is it the family troubles? Is it the loneliness? I don't know at this point. Yeah, it's not specifically clear what her conflict is. Because right now there's a giant whale heading toward Atlas. So she didn't have time to worry about her family right now. But can you guys imagine a scene? Let's say, remember the scene in volume 7, chapter 6, where Robin is addressing, she's addressing the crowd at her election party. Do you remember that scene? How powerful would it have been if Weiss also talked to the crowd and she publicly endorsed Robin? That right to itself, it makes all the sense in the world that Weiss would publicly support Robin against her father. It would have been a powerful moment. It would have been an awesome moment. But instead, they go to the exact extreme, and they have her not talk to Robin at all. Explain it to me. It doesn't make any sense. Weird. I don't know. Shouldn't say a single word. Not a single word. She's busy at the movies. Yeah, you're right. Wanted. She was busy at the damn movies. It's really astonishing. I can't believe they did that. Interesting. Wow. The one thing I wasn't disappointed with coming to Weiss, the one thing I wasn't disappointed with was her talk with her mom. I thought that was great, and I called it out. I said it was a great scene, well directed, written by Miles. For the folks who say I don't, compliment the show. I don't give them credit where credit is due. I thought that scene was great. The scene with her mom. Let's see, let me find it. I thought this scene was really good. Which is interesting because people think I don't give the show credit. But yeah, this was very good. It deserved all the praise it got. I think it's the best scene. It's the best scene that did not involve Ironwood. It may be the best scene in all of Volume 7 that did not involve Iron Daddy. I liked the Willow introduction scene. It was good. So I'll give him credit there, right? We'll give them credit there. But when we transition to her father, it was bad. It was bad. Well, bad might be the right word. It was underwhelming. How about that? Her butting in on her father like a wrecking ball, that was underwhelming. There's no weight to the scene. No weight at all. It's a matter of fact. It's very cavalier. There's no emotional weight to it. There's nothing. It's just dry. It's a dry scene. A dry takedown of her father. And it's over before you even know it. And then he tries to run away. Like, what? Am I supposed to believe that he thought he could run away from Ironwood and train professional huntresses in the, like, what is going on here? Maybe he just panicked. Fine. You want to say he just panicked, then fine. But I don't understand why he thought he think he could run away. I don't think that. I don't understand why he thought he could run away. Interesting. I don't know why. And then this line here, can I do that? Really, Weiss? You don't know? You don't know whether you can arrest him or not? You of all people, book smart Weiss, you don't know? It's just weak. Not terrible, just weak. It's a weak moment. I thought it would be have more weight to it, but it did not. Oh well. That was my problem with that, but I don't know how other people feel about it, but I thought it was pretty weak. Let's not spend any much more time on Winter than we have to. I mean, not Winter, but freaking Jock. Now, if anyone been following my channel over the last couple of years, you know the number one thing I was looking forward to was Weiss's relationship with Winter. By far. By far, this is what I was looking forward to the most. And it started off fine. I like the reunion. The reunion between Winter and Weiss, I thought worked fine. I thought it was perfect. It was solid. Weiss apologized for putting herself at risk, and Winter understood, and then that was that. I thought, okay, got some good stuff going here, but if only I knew what they were going to do. And what they did was vintage RWBY. Vintage RWBY. I'll tell you what I mean. You know how RWBY does this thing where they talk as if they're talking for someone else. They're not like having a genuine conversation. It's like the characters know themselves that someone is watching them. They're like Weiss and Winter don't talk like sisters here. It's weird. Like she's like, what did she say? She's like, distancing myself from the family name is the best thing I've ever done. And he's like, oh, you've grown up a little bit, huh? That's how you talk to your sisters? That's how you talk to your sister and brothers? You've grown up a bit, huh? you're not the same person who's been like, what'd she say? What did she say? She's not the same person who's been like clinging to the family name. Like, who talks to the sister like that? It's weird. It's like they're reading a script. Exactly. It's not a genuine conversation. It's just dry and telling each other things they already know. It's just, I wish I could play the audio. I didn't know that my desktop audio would be like echoing. But it's like, hey, I wonder if, no, that's not gonna work. Oh, I understand what happened now. Okay, I got it. I want that problem later. Yeah, there's no real more like, she's like, oh, distancing myself from family name is the best thing I've ever done. Like, yeah, father's vision doesn't line up with mine anymore. Yeah, it's just dry and weak. And I don't want to like call out the particular writer here, but it feels like somebody who did not. Well, let me take that back. Like I said, this adventure is RWBY, so this is what they always do. They always write it as if they're like trying to remind the audience what happened. Oh, by the way, guys, this is how Winter feels. This is how Weiss feels. In case you forgot, we already know this. So why are you bringing it up again? Why are you having them repeat stuff we already know? It just, I don't know what they were going for here, but it doesn't work. Then Weiss goes on to tell her sister that she's not a fan of what Ironwood is doing. I'm like, what? Not only has he done nothing wrong, right? You're lying to your sister now. You are lying straight to your teeth. So unless she was projecting, or that's the thing, I'm not sure whether she's projecting. I'm not sure if she was self-aware, but she should have been. And that was missing from this conversation. It wasn't obvious that she was conscious that she's lying herself. It wasn't obvious that she was aware. She was self-aware that she's lying to her sister. It wasn't obvious. So it ended up being very annoying, and I ended up not liking Weiss here. But Vex, you have to remind the audience about things that already happened. Apparently so. Because I don't get the sense that Weiss feels any guilt about lying to Winter, and it's bothering me big time because she should feel guilt because her sister is confiding in her. She's telling her things that she's not supposed to know. She's telling her, "Oh, look, here's the Winter Maiden. I'm not supposed to tell you this, but guess what? Ironwood is making me this. Ironwood is making me this. The Winter Maiden. Let me try that again. Let me drink some water." Ironwood is making me the Winter Maiden, and you're not. I'm not supposed to tell you, but here we go. I'm gonna tell you anyway. And she's like, "Oh, thanks for the information. I don't have anything to tell you. Sorry." The Winter Maiden, all right. Sorry. I'm not telling you shit. Thanks for telling me your secrets, but I'm not telling you. I don't feel bad about it one bit. Sorry. It's just weird. Like, why are you not feeling guilty about lying to your sister? Why? I don't understand. Winter loves and trusts her sister so much that she's willing to tell her secrets that she's not supposed to tell her. But Weiss has no guilt about lying to her sister. And then we get this absolutely abysmal audio, this absolutely abysmal dialogue between Winter and Weiss. It's awful. It's awful. I wish I could play the freaking audio on this thing, but it's just so bad. What did she say? She's like, "Doesn't that bother you? He practically groomed your entire career. Look here, Winch. Okay, look here. She's in the military. Why would that bother her? If anything, Winter would be upset. Can you imagine if I was your right-hand woman the whole time, and you thought someone else was more deserving or more qualified to be the Winter Maiden, if anything, Winter would be pissed. If anything, she would be mad if Ironwood did not approach her with this. So I don't understand why she would think Winter would be upset that Ironwood presented this to her. I'm confused. What do you mean? Doesn't that bother you? She's in the military. She signed up for this. He basically trusting her. He's trusting her with the highest honor, the highest level of trust, and you think she's gonna be upset? Her name is literally Winter, for crying out loud. What is she talking about? This dialogue is abysmal. It's so bad. Then she goes on to say, but your destiny was chosen for you without your input. What? Are you listening to your sister at all? She said it. She said he proposed it to her. It was an offer, suggestion. Proposed, not a demand. What? And even if it was, she's in the military. That's what she signed up for. What is he talking? What is she talking about? She's not listening to her sister at all. And don't get me wrong. Winter lines are bad too. Winter's lines are bad as well. But Weiss is not listening. What's going on here with this writing? Your destiny was chosen for you without your input. What? Maybe the maidens weren't it. Maybe the maidens were a mistake. I don't know. But this is just bad. So then after Winter tells her, this is my decision, I made it my own, Weiss again refuses to tell her the truth and doesn't care. She has a big fat smile on her face. In fact, let me pull it up real quick. Where's that smile she had on her face? Here it is. Thanks for telling me. Sis, I've got nothing to tell you. I've got nothing to tell you at all. It's so bad. It's so annoying. It's frustrating as a Weiss fan. It really is. It's like, I'm not telling you shit. Now, the thing she says here, which set me off in my video, I did not catch the first time I saw it. I didn't catch this line until I was writing for the damn script for the video. When she said, I guess we'll have to, what'd she say? I guess we both had to do a little bit of that, carving out our own way. That nonsense, carving out her own way. I didn't catch that it was the repetitive character beat that they've been repeating over and over until I started writing the script. But that's what it is. She's been carving out her own way from the very beginning, and they've been talking about the same character beat this entire time. Yikes. I mean, I almost want to give the writer the benefit of the doubt because he just started writing RWBY, but Miles and Carrie should have caught this. I mean, why are you guys repeating the same character moments, the same character beat over and over and over? I just don't know what to say about this. I mean, she's been carving out her own way from the very beginning. So I'm not sure why she's still feeling enlightened. I'm not sure she's feeling like she's gaining some kind of insight here, because she's not. It's the same thing over and over and over. Move on. Try something new. It's not, you don't have to do the same thing. Miles and Carrie didn't write this scene, but they signed off on it, obviously. I just don't understand why they keep repeating the same thing over and over and over. Like, she's been going her own way from the very beginning. She knows that's what her sister's doing. She got the same development in Volume 3, the same exact lesson in Volume 3. And they still banking on it. They even ended the volume on that thing. They ended the volume on that, her saying that to her sister. That's the last thing she said to her sister. The last thing she said was, we all have to carve out our own way, which is the same damn character beat they've been beating over our heads for like 7 volumes. It's really just, I don't know how anyone couldn't be disappointed with Weiss. It's very disappointing. I mean, I don't know what to say. Oh man. Wow, this went longer than I thought it was gonna go. I only plan on going for an hour. Oh man. So what's next for Weiss? Like, in the video I talked about how she has to maybe make peace with her brother, but it doesn't make sense right now. She's freaking worried about Salem is on a whale. They don't have time for this. So she have to come back to deal with her brother later, I guess. So the Schnee Dust Company, that's out of the picture, right? She's not worrying about that right now. She has to worry about Salem. She has to worry about Salem. So what's next for Weiss? I mean, nothing really. They had the opportunity for her to make it known to the Kingdom of Atlas that she's not following behind her father, like she's going her own way, but they didn't do that. So what good would it be? What good would it do to do that now? It doesn't make any sense. That time has passed. So I don't know what they're gonna do with Weiss. I don't know what they're gonna do with RWBY. Well, that's I know what they're gonna do with RWBY. They're gonna have her learn about what happened to her mom. She'll find out what happened to Summer in the next volume. Weiss will do nothing. I don't know. Blake and Yang will probably like do some other ship stuff. Maybe they'll kiss. I don't know. That's what a lot of people want to see. A lot of people want to see them kiss, so they may do that. I don't know. Yeah, but besides, the only thing I can think about is RWBY. RWBY has the learning about what happened to her mom. They're cut Yang out of the Summer thing, so Yang doesn't care about that. So I don't know what Yang's gonna do. Blake's story arcs are finished until Vacuo, and Weiss, I don't know. I mean, her father's in jail. Her brother is the heir. There's a giant whale in the sky with Salem on his back. So I don't know what she's gonna do either. They'll do the Whitley and Schnee Dust Company. Okay, let me try this again. They'll do the Whitley and Schnee Dust Company shit off screen, probably. Probably. I mean, it's no point of addressing it at all. I'll repeat. Salem is on a whale. She's on a whale approaching Atlas. I mean, there's nothing. She takes top priority. She takes priority number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Well, at least the point without screwing the pacing and stuff like that. Nothing. Hopefully they will going to go. Okay, the reboot. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. Salem, whale. What do you have here? No, you didn't, Floof. No, you didn't. That was actually funny. Well. What do we have here? Oh boy. Okay, so that's basically the stream. I wanted to go through all 4 videos and talk about what people have, problems people have with it, and make my case as to why I made those claims and why I made the video I did, and why the script went the way it went. What's interesting is, going forward when it comes to RWBY content, I only have plans for one more video, one more. That's going to be about Volume 7. I'm going to talk about the structure of Volume 7 and what it was to me, and what the writers thought they were doing, if intentional, what they did and what they didn't do overall. It's weird. I don't want to say it is a volume review, but it's not like a review in like the way you think. Not like your typical review where I go through this happened, then this happened. It's more like I'm going to say, all right, this is what this volume was, and this is why it went the way it went. And I'm going to discuss whether it worked or not. So it won't be like a typical review where I talk about everything that happened. I'll skip over some stuff. I'm only going to talk about the things that are important to the point I'm trying to make about the structure of the volume. So that should be interesting. And after that, Team Salem, # Team Salem, might as well. I hope Salem kills a lot of people. That way you can like refresh to get a new like cast going. You know, if she kills half the cast, that'll free up the characters to be like, to have more breathing room. Because a lot of them can be killed. Hazel can go. Tyrion, he'll be killed by Crow. Crow can get killed. Robin can get killed. All these characters are bad. Half of them are bad. You can kill half of them easily. I wouldn't mind one bit. Kill Nora. Kill Ren. I don't care. I honestly don't care. If you told me right now only the main 4 are going to make it out alive, I'd be fine with that. Well, I don't necessarily want Ironwood and Winter to die, but at this point, I would not be surprised if Ironwood gets killed off, honestly. But yeah, that's the plan. Volume 7 review, but not really a review. More like a Volume 7 discussion. What the hell were they doing, and why did they do it, and how did it go? That's what it's going to be. And that's going to be fun. Again, here are the final rankings. Oh, here it is. Weiss is yellowish with a slight of green, which is almost yellow. RWBY is orange, and Blake and Yang are red as it can be. As red as a devil's butt. Well, actually, Blake is kind of orange, like slight orange in there. But Yang is really red. Yang is kind of like light. It's almost orange, but it's mostly red. Blake is. Robin could die. I don't care. Like she's worthless. I don't think they will kill her. I don't think they will. But she could die easily. Ah man. Ultimately, y'all have to carve out our own way. So you know how that goes. Okay, let's look at the chat for a little bit, for a few minutes before I wrap this up. Volume 8 theory video. The problem with doing a Volume 8 theory is I'm gonna end up being disappointed because I kind of whatever I say they should do, they'll do the opposite. So that'll just piss me off. So I should probably stay away from Volume 8 theory videos. To be completely honest with you. Only carving? Yep. Only carving. What do you think about Neo and Cinder? Neo is a flat, nothing character who was brought back because they wanted to pander to the base. And she should have killed RWBY at the Schnee Manor. She delivered the relic to the very woman who she blames for Roman Torchwood's death, and was surprised when that woman was not grateful. That's all you need to know about Neo. Neo's a nothing character. Cinder is still arguably the worst character in the show. That hasn't changed at all. Volume 7 was to build Ironwood. Maybe. We'll see what I say in the video. He's definitely the best part of Volume 7, that is for sure. I'll tell you that right now. He was the best part of Volume 7, by far. Cinder is the most disappointing thing since my son. Sheesh. Maria is a kind of a waste of time. They didn't tell us why Maria was relevant until Volume 7, Chapter 1. When she said, oh, the reason why I hanged on... Remember, I made that video about Maria asking why she stayed on the train. They gave us the answer in Volume 7. They said, oh, she stayed on the train because she wanted to help them fight the Sphinx, which is interesting because she didn't help them fight the Sphinx at all. She didn't do anything, just sit there on the train. So that's just bullshit for Maria, but whatever. Personally, I think the worst character is Robin. She's bad. She may be the worst character in the show right now. Who knows? I haven't thought that far. I didn't know Yang is the worst character in Team RWBY. Is Robin worse than Cinder? Maybe. I don't know. Cinder is not getting killed at all. Cinder is going to be around for the long haul. At this point, it's quite clear that Cinder is going to be around for the entire length of the show. We still don't know her backstory, and they'll probably tell us that eventually, I'm sure. I guess. Worst character is Miles. Shish. Sheesh. Cold-blooded. Cinder or Robin? Cinder, because Cinder has more weight in the show, so she should be better than she is. Been 7 volumes, we still don't know why she's there. So Cinder's worse than Robin, I guess. Oh, snap. I've almost forgot. I have to show you guys something. Now, one thing that was... I'm so sorry I forgot. I want to show this. The one thing that I wanted to show you guys is Weiss. This picture of Weiss. What's going on? Let's get away. See. Oh wait. Oh wait, here it is. Let's go to display capture. Let's go to my Twitter. Look at this. Boom. Doesn't she look... Wait. Come back. Doesn't she look great? Oh my gosh. Why didn't they cut Weiss's hair? It's funny. You know what's funny? Leading into Volume 7, Weiss was the character I absolutely thought would have got a haircut. Because it makes most sense for her, right? She's carving out her own way, right? She's separating herself from the family name. It would have made sense for her to get the haircut. But no, this give a boring haircut to Blake. This is the one who got a haircut. Look at this. She looks gorgeous. Look at this. My goodness. This is the person who got a haircut. She should have got a haircut. My gosh, look at this. Let me give a shout out to the artist here. I think her name is Sumbrella. Let me sure. Let me go to. Why is it sticking? Where is it? Here it is. Sumbrella 3. At Sumbrella 3. She does wonderful art. Here's some other short white stuff here. This is what they should have done. She should have got the haircut. She should have got the haircut. I don't know why they gave it to Blake. It makes sense for Weiss's character more. I don't know what they're going for, but Weiss should have got the haircut. Absolutely, she should have got the haircut. Without question. And I will not tolerate anyone who thinks otherwise. She looks gorgeous. She looks goated. Yes, that's amazing. Yes, she looks great. This is what she should have got the haircut. Absolutely. But no, they gave it to boring, bland Blake for reasons unknown. But yeah, this is. I'm gonna leave this on the rest of the time. I'm gonna leave this on. Where'd it go? Let me go to my Twitter real quick. I retweeted it, so I tweeted it out. So let's go find beautiful short-haired Weiss. Boom. It makes sense for her character, right? She's the one who's changing it up and wants to separate herself from the family name and carve out her own way. She should have got the haircut. Looks amazing, but instead. Put that big, fat, ugly braid on her head for reasons unknown. I swear, man. I just don't understand. I don't have a RWBY waifu, but I like this look. Blake hair is bland, flat, and boring. This haircut is badass. This is what they should do with Weiss. And she got the red eye. I like the red eyes too. But it would look good with the blue eyes as well. Yeah, this. Who are making these decisions with your teeth? Seriously, who's making these decisions? How do you not cut Weiss's hair? It makes sense for her character arc, not for Blake. That big, ugly, someone on Twitter called it the infinity braid that Weiss has on her head. For crying out loud. Why? I don't understand. Okay. You know what? On that note, let's probably wrap up the stream. Thank you so much for everyone who joined the stream. I did not expect all those donations. That was crazy. That was like out of this world. I did not expect that at all. I thought I was gonna go for an hour. I ended up going for almost 3 hours. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you so much. I won't try to. I'll try to be more frequent with these. Maybe do some with more frequency these streams, because it's good to reach out to you guys and have streams, and not always do scripted, edited videos all the time. Sprinkled in these streams every once in a while when it's something worth talking about. I don't want to just stream for the sake of streaming. Okay, sometimes that can get weird. So I want to be streaming for a reason. But yeah, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I feel like I'm missing. I feel like I need to say something that I'm forgetting. Oh, I have to do the whole. I can't leave without doing the typical stuff I always do. The sound bites. Let's see. Do I still have it?
It's a cartoon.
It already has.
It's a cartoon.
It's a cartoon.
It already has.
Stuff in RWBY has been planned since the very beginning.
And the last one is.
No, but seriously, like Bumblebee, y'all.
Those actually made on. Those videos actually made on the screen. That's funny.
No, but seriously, like Bumblebee, y'all.
Stuff in RWBY has been planned since the very beginning.
It's a cartoon.
It already has.
Why did you say that? Seriously, why did you yell that it's a cartoon? That is so messed up. Yeah, it's always funny to me that she thought she could yell that. That's crazy. I support your videos, not all your times, but rather give you money than royalties. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Alex. That's awesome. I appreciate that so much. All right, guys. That's the wrap. See you guys on the flip side. They should have cut Weiss. I'll leave you with this. They should have cut Weiss's hair. I don't know what they say. Cut Weiss's hair. Get rid of the infinity braid. All right, guys. See you later. It's a cartoon.